All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AOA Best in Guild Tournament. I am your shoutcaster, Blue Squadron, joined by Johnny 5. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny 5. I run the NodeWar Hub. I do the NodeWar podcast on Fridays, and I help manage the NodeWar tier list as well. Very active in the scene. Love me some PvP.
That's right, bro. We know all of the guilds getting ready to go head-to-head in this tournament. It's my favorite tournament of the entire year. I am so excited to see these guys go head-to-head. We are casting the lower bracket today, which means we're going to be looking at Dandelion Team 2 versus Reforged Team 2. So we're just going to pop over to this little versus screen that we've got ready over here. There we go. So on Dandy Team 2, we have Swiss Family Robinson on the Hash, Karkarin on the Corsair, Nexus on a Wizard, and Coolfin is the sub on the Guardian. Reforged Team 2, of course, is Hunter Blue, sporting the Awakening Ranger, Regent Jupiter on the Awakening Striker, Vessel Vision TV sporting his normal Guardian, and Materialistic subbing in on the Sork if necessary. Now, okay, so which composition do you hand this to, Johnny, overall?
Going into some of these tournaments, it's going to be rough if they don't necessarily have a Shy and one team does, but neither team in this instance has one. The Wizard is going to help. They're going to have the utility of heals. They're going to have Speed Spell, PA if necessary, which is very strong. Corsair, did you say that was Awakening or Succession?
That should be an Awakening Corsair on Karkarin, but we're not actually sure. They're actually allowed to switch up until the last minute, so okay. We're not entirely certain which one he's going to bring. I would assume Awakening.
If it's the Awakening Corsair, that's going to be a lot of range pressure. They're going to have the double range from both the Wizard and the Corsair, with the Hash able to help rat it out. Helps you see any unprotected movement that's going on and try to put that offensive forward frontline pressure. The Awakened Ranger used to be, I would say, the number one AOA class for a long time. Awakening Nova kind of creeping up on that, but with the V changes happening, I wonder how much that's going to change for the strength of the Ranger, because a lot of its stuff is KDs. Striker has the KD grabs. Both are fantastic. It's perma SA if it wants to. Vessel Vision has been on Guardian for a long time, so he's going to be able to bring it. Both specs I think are quite good. I think Awakening might be a little bit better in small scale or 1v1s, but Succession is still very, very strong if he chooses to bring that instead. For the initial, I think Dandy has the advantage in a compositional standpoint, just from the range with the Hash and the caster. But I think it's very much either team, depending on how much pressure the Reforged team can put on those range classes.
Yeah, I think that, honestly, this could go either way. I think that knowing how good Hunter Blue is at Awakening Ranger and how difficult that class is to pin down, I think that you can really be a menace there, because I don't see anybody other than the Hash who is going to dive in. Honestly, Hash is not super great if the Ranger is playing well, like Flannels is exactly what I'm gonna say, because if he jumps on top of him, he leaves himself really exposed, and I think that the Ranger can actually get a lot of work done there. And then I don't think that there's a whole lot, like, on the flip side, I think that Reforged is just going to struggle to lock down the caster. I think we're really going to struggle getting that Wizard absolutely locked down, unless it's an Awakening Wizard, which I highly doubt. I think the Suck Wizard's going to give him a lot of trouble. I think Awakening Striker and an Awakening Guardian might be a little tough. So yeah, compositionally, maybe hand this over to Dandy just a little bit, but I think that the Awakening Ranger might be the turning point here, and I know how good my boys are over in Reforged there. So okay, it doesn't look like they're going to be ready to go here for a couple minutes yet, so why don't we take a look. So your prediction there, Johnny, what's your prediction for that match?
I think just compositionally, in this game more than many others, is very, very important, and I think the difficulty they're going to have chasing down the Corsair or the caster is going to be very detrimental to the Reforged team, so I'm going to give it to the Dandy team in the first one. I think the players on the Reforged team with the Ranger could pull it off, but if the caster and the Corsair are smart, the advantage of the Ranger's ranged KDs is not going to be existent. And one of Ranger's biggest issues is that it has a really, really bad time against really good kite range classes. And so having two of those on the opposite team might make it a little bit rough. It's going to be dependent on what the Striker and the Guardian can get off. I think the Guardian movement stuff might help a bit, but we'll see.
Yeah, okay, of course you're reported for picking anyone other than Reforged to win this match. I think obviously I got to go with the home team here. I think Reforged going to take this, bro. I'm not biased at all, but I've been friends with Vessel for 5 years, and obviously I help lead Reforged, so I'm rooting for the boys back home. Obviously, Dandy brings a strong team there, but like honestly, we kind of have a chance if Reforged wins both of its opening rounds. We're Dandy and Reforged fight each other. Team 2 from Dandy fights Team 2 from Reforged in the first round, and then also in the first round, Team 1 from Dandy fights Team 1 of Reforged. So like both guilds have an opportunity to wipe the other guild out of the tournament. Right off the gun. And we've been decked on each other for like the last 3 months. So it's winner take all on this one. Can't wait. Super excited.
You know, PA was looking up those guild decks and was like, all right, we're going to let them duke it out in the tournament here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and let them fight it out in the very first round. Now, who do you think? Honestly, like, it's tough. This lower bracket, part of the reason I chose it is not just because Reforged is down here, but also because there's a lot of really good players down here that representing smaller guilds that maybe we haven't actually seen before. So one of those is TheDojo. Have you ever heard of TheDojo before?
I think so. Maybe I've seen them in BA or something before in Battle Arena, but it rings a bell, but I don't know why.
I'm not exactly sure who, but I know who Muted is, right? We remember who Muted is, right? Because that's the Ventus Alliance. I'm looking for their team right here, and honestly, oh yeah, I forgot. Grandiha just told me Dojo 2 actually just dropped out of the tournament. So actually Muted gets a straight buy around through the first, the PayPal has been accepted through the first round of the tournament. So that's really good for them. It'll be Reforged fighting Saybyeok into the next match there. You have Margoria versus Vagabondz. Now, like, I know that you probably don't know a whole lot about Margoria, but let's go ahead and take a look at that versus screen and see what that looks like real quick, so that you can actually see and the boys can see what kind of matches we're going to be looking at as we kind of prep this a little bit. This is what one of our future matches is going to look like. It's going to be Margoria versus Vagabondz. Do you know any of these Margoria players, Johnny?
I
don't know any of these guys.
Lynx rings a bell. I know that name. Maybe it's just Warrior bias, but I do know that name. I've heard it before at least once. The other 3 names I'm going to be much less familiar with. But I definitely know the Vagabondz team.
So so we know the Vagabondz team. They've been around in the PvP scene for an extremely long time. Super respected guild, running with Poogie, Excalibur, Buff Orange, and Mio there. That is a shy composition. So just take the nameplates away here. Who wins this compositionally?
The strength of a Shy is disgusting. Plus, they have a Ranger and a Warrior. Warrior is a really good small scale class. It's got a Q block. It's got a grab. It's got 10% slows from Grave-Dig. It's got a decent amount of damage. The biggest issue on the class is protections, but an AoA an AoA, especially with Shy buffs, it really lowers the gaps on that. You have an Awakened Ranger, I assume, as a support class. Again, one of the best small scale classes in the game. It has range, lots of iframes, permanent protection. It's got a ranged KD. It's a really, really oppressive class. And when you double those with a Shy, if they're giving you the buffs, they can heal. They have the CCs with Bongo, and it's gotta be that Vagabondz team just compositionally.
Yeah, I think I handed to Vaga. Probably has like gear advantage in this in this particular matchup here. I think that the Shy is actually super impactful when gear is actually lower. As the gear increases, and like as we've seen over the last year, in the last year's AOA matches for the Best in Guild tournament, the Shy compositions did really well until, of course, they found Show Nation. If you have a lot of accuracy, you can kind of just obliterate the Shy, right? So it really comes down to, like, do you have 3 accuracy accessories? Okay, well then you're probably just going to one-shot the Shy, and then it's probably going to be a relatively non-factor, right? However, I think in a match like this where you're fighting Margoria and we don't know who these players are necessarily, they have a Sage. You know, that's good accuracy modifiers. Striker, Guardian, Warrior, not really known for their accuracy too much, but who knows? They could definitely just come out and surprise the hell out of all of us with the amount of accuracy they've got there. Johnny, how much gear? Okay, what do you think the average gear score is for an uncapped tournament like this?
An uncapped tournament, I feel like it's probably going to be on the higher side, especially from experienced or older node war guilds. Vagabondz has been node warring for a long time. I would say that their team has got to be averaging at least... The Shy makes it a little bit weird because DP Shy gear is funky. But I would say for the Warrior and the Ranger, it's got to be at least 715, 720, I would hope.
Well, I mean, like, okay, yeah, so for this match, what do you think? Like,
yeah,
like 715, 720. What do you think about, like, for the open tournament in general? What kind of play, like, what kind of average gear score do you think that you need to be successful here? Or do you think it's just all skill?
I would say 715, 720 with accuracy accessories or an accuracy offhand. Because it's going to be, like, you want to kill a Shy, you want to kill a Striker, you want to kill a Mystic. I hope you have accuracy. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really difficult to do any sort of damage to some of those classes.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, honestly, the minimum gear score required is probably roughly 720. And at that point, it's probably about how good you are or how many accuracy accessories you've got on. Now there are 2 tournaments this year. It's not just the one tournament overall, it's actually both tournaments together. So you have an invitational tournament. Today we are casting the open bracket. Tomorrow is the invitational tournament, and that is all like the really high-end guilds: Digital, Cho, Barcode, Clash, Notorious. All of like the major siege guilds are in that big tournament. What do you think the average gear score is there to be like super successful?
It's gonna be, this is where the gear score gets funky again, because accuracy accessories bring your total gear score down because the AP is lower, but it's still gonna be like 725, 730, but now you're getting into like the 3-4 accessory wheel. Like, you're having full pen wheels on some of these individuals, and if you're not gonna be there, you're gonna get left in the dust. So it's gotta be, I would say, actually I'd bump it up even more. I'd say 730 probably minimum to be competitive at the minimum.
730 to just be competitive. I actually don't think that's incorrect. I think the average gear score of the Invitational is probably above it, knowing the players that are actually in it. So, like, yeah, I think that's going to be a little rough for most players, but we don't care about most players. We care about the best of the best, which is what we're going to be observing. They are adding the players to the teams now. Let's go ahead over to the versus screen one more time so that we can see the match that we are about to... that is about to make its way underway here. It's going to be Reforged Team 2 versus Dandelion Team 2 for this first one. And again, I know Johnny's giving it to Dandy Team 2. I'm of course going with the home field homies, Reforged Team 2 on this. It is an Awakening Ranger, Awakening Striker, Awakening Guardian. I don't think that Materialistic is playing in the first match, although it's interesting, Johnny, that they actually take the sub. Most like really competitive teams take the sub and they use it to just kind of sideboard people in when they feel like they need a better composition. Right? So, like, what do you think is a better composition here for Dandy's team? Do you think it's the Guardian, or do you think they should sub somebody out?
I would say the Guardian over the Hash, honestly. With the Corsair and the Wizard, if you have the Guardian just putting AoE damage and AoE pressure, they have plenty of essays and iframes to stay around. Well...
I don't know. I think if you take the hash out, yeah, I think if you take the hash out, the Ranger doesn't get any pressure. I think the Ranger just doesn't die if you take the hash out. I think that Hunter just goes crazy. So like, I don't know. I think I would leave it with maybe you take the Corsair out in favor of the Guardian, so you have a more reliable grab. I'm not sure if the Hashashin is Awakening or Succession, to be honest with you. So, like, if the hash is not Awakening, they are not going to have access to a grab. And I think that the Guardian is probably better than the Corsair in that regard, because Awakening Corsair's grab, although it did receive an update relatively recently, it's still relatively unreliable. Over on Reforged team, do you think they should sub in Materialistic here, the Sork? Do you think the Sork gives an advantage anywhere?
I don't think so. Sork is kind of a wheelchair class. It's not very fast. It's not going to really be able to keep up with Corsair or Wizard. It's going to have a really hard time pursuing them. Sork's biggest thing of how to beat a Sork is to run away. So if the goal is to chase down the Corsair and the Wizard, I think the Sork's going to have a really hard time at that. Sork is usually known as one of the better classes in AoA to 1vx, but I think it would definitely not be the correct sub for this match.
Yeah, actually, I think I have a different opinion of Sork. I think Sork in AoE is like really strong for the same reason that Archer is really, really weak. And there's the reason there's no archers in this tournament is there's no room to kite around. It's not a very big arena, so Sork's short range iframe dashes actually tend to help benefit her tremendously. Yeah, you're not wrong. The fast-paced classes will outpace her a little bit, like the wizard. She would struggle with, but I think if they end up with the guardian in there, yeah, I think the Sork could actually get a lot of work done there. But I think overall, you're correct. I think trying to have the Sork lock down a hash is a joke, right? And I think having the Sork try to lock down a succession wizard would also be kind of a joke. So yeah, I think that they stick with the Awakening Striker, Vessel on the Guardian, and Hunter Blue on the Ranger. Now, Vessel can actually play both specs of this class. Do you think that he should play Awakening or Suck, or do you think there's an advantage here?
Succession would have more damage, it's more cone-shaped. It's frontal guards versus the Awakening, which is going to be more SA and more circular damage type. I don't know. I would say whatever he feels more comfortable with, or whatever he would perform personally better on, is what I would play. I think both are very, very viable.
Right on. Well, these, of course, matches are a best of 3, and we are about to get into the very first match of the Best in Guild tournament. It is gates up, and away we go. Vessel charging forward very aggressively right there. It is an Awakening Wizard, and Vessel throwing down all his slows right there, but taking a lot of damage. Has to V immediately and get out of there. Too much damage on that Guardian as the fight rages on. Hunter Blue also down at 50% as well. They kind of have to regroup here and get their health back, but no caster to actually help their team out here. Vessel without a V, ticking down on health. It looks like he might go down here. Does use that escape ability on Guardian, down at 10% HP, kiting around with those iframes, just buying a lot of time. The hash in hot pursuit there. Ooh, Vessel actually given time to get back up right there. Nexus on his back right there, takes a lot of damage, and all of the focus is on Vessel. He is going to go down right there. Regent Jupiter, the Awakening Striker, and the Awakening Ranger, the only two left alive here, and Regent actually doing the Lord's work here, gets a beautiful grab onto Calcarin right here, but not enough damage to follow up right there. Regent just right in the middle of everything, but unfortunately not able to get any damage done. Hunter Blue kiting back on that Ranger, dying from standing. Regent Jupiter kiting around, asking himself like the monkey in the meme, where team at? Oh man, drops the leg. Just not enough damage on this Reforged team in this first round here, as Regent kind of stalls for time. They have an opportunity to kind of talk to each other as players and see what they could have been doing better. Dandy kind of sweeps that first round, making it look relatively easy there. Absolutely full gear. Johnny, oh my goodness.
I mean, we talked about having the Awakening Wizard would be a surprise, and then I was expecting to see a lot of kiting, a lot of movement around from the Dandy team in this fight, but they just went full face into the Reforged team and just blasted with as much damage as possible, and it was just Regent left standing. You talked about the monkey asking, where'd my team go? Where are they? And it was definitely the instance of he was the only one able to take all that damage. With the way that the Dandy team is playing, that should give an opportunity for Vessel or Hunter Blue to get a grab off, which is going to be very important, I think, going into this.
Okay, and we're into the round 2 here. Hunter Blue playing this, navigating this very well on the Awakening Ranger, getting in close, but abusing those iframes and that wonderful range damage that Awakening Ranger is. No, oh my gosh, nobody saw it. It's fine. He keeps kiting back with those iframes, and again, nobody's on him right now. The Awakening Ranger, or the Awakening Wizard, dives on top of him, but he just kites right back out of it right there. Oh my goodness, the Dandy team going in for that chat PvP right there. Nexus trying to land the slow down on Hunter. Oh, Hunter has stopped moving here. It looks like no one is able to hit each other. No one is hitting. That's fine. There are no bugs in Black Desert Online. None
Perfectly
whatsoever.
esports ready.
Perfectly esports ready. Jay, don't you worry. I've got you covered. This is a feature of the Arena of Archa where the gates go up, and they do indeed do a practice round where no one can actually hit anybody. And it's very important that you do the practice round after you've already actually completed your first round. Is also very important. What the hell is going on? Can we please do these matches in Arena? So honestly, Johnny, it's tragic that we don't have the technology or the wherewithal to actually do this in some sort of ranked arena or we might have various different maps that might help engage players a little bit more. 3v3 arena of some kind that we might be able to use.
And then anytime we wanted any sort of equalized gear, you know, if there was any sort of like present gears, or you could even have like different sets if people are playing Striker and want Evasion, or a Shine want DP meme, maybe a Valkyrie wants BSR earrings or something like that. People can min-max their crystals and have alchemy stones and buffs. I would love for some sort of, you know, technology in the game that existed like that.
Absolutely tragic. Well, it's just not there yet. Honestly, I would love if we just played, if we could just add a bunch of sticks of bamboo to this arena. I do feel like it would help the optimization of the arena overall. I think that Armin would really enjoy that. For sure.
Armin is a big fan of polygons. As many of them that can be put on the screen as possible need to happen every time.
Yeah, and I do believe that Jay has received my PayPal here, so Reforged should be winning these next 2 rounds, no problem. Honestly, I felt like they were playing it, like they came out and they looked like they were going to play it a little bit better there. I think that overall, Johnny, I think that Vessel, the biggest problem there was that Vessel played way too aggressively at the start and just lost all of his HP. They don't have an ability to get any of that HP back over time, and I think the Vessel was spent the entire match basically scrambling, and I think he's probably most of their damage. I mean, like, we didn't discuss damage here, but, like, where's the damage coming from, right? Like, is it, like, the Awakening Ranger, the Awakening Guardian, the Awakening Striker? I mean, like, if the enemy team's stacking evasion super hard, I don't know, man. I know Vessel's gear. I know Hunter's gear. Regent's actually probably the most geared of the 3 of them. And so he's probably the most equipped to deal with that, but it did look like the damage may have been the biggest problem in that last match there.
The biggest thing with Awakening Ranger is it has good damage, but it's unprotected. And there's no caster buffs or shy buffs for the Ranger, so they don't have the advantage of having those abilities sped up. So I think a lot of the damage is going to have to come from Vessel, because the Striker, especially with how tanky they are in that first round that we saw, they can't have too much damage unless he is super geared. Unless he's 305 with, you know, full pen wheel. Maybe at that point he's dealing decent damage, but I feel like Vessel is going to definitely have to have the most amount of damage.
Right on. Well, I like what he did there. Is Vessel, normally your BSR resets at the start of each match here, but Vessel, they're actually funneling BSR onto them, and that is definitely with the rules. We saw a lot of teams doing that last year. Oh my goodness, Dandy getting really aggressive. Vessel with a good grab right there, but taking so much damage. Has the Phoenix out of there. Oh my goodness, Mouse moves the Phoenix. Hunter Blue down at 20% as well. Everything happened in this corner. Hunter Blue has the V right there. Vessel going right back in, does manage to scramble his HP back to full health. Hunter comes out of V, and he gets to reset as well as the fight gets to reset all together here. Regent in the middle of everything, right where an Awakening Striker should be right there. Vessel phoenixing in to help his ally. Oh no, Vessel on the ground, has to be away from everything right now. Regent Jupiter gets a beautiful grab down on the Awakening Wizard here. No one here to follow up there. I'm not sure where Hunter's at. Good damage coming out from Regent right there. Good combo. Where is the team at though? Oh my goodness, somebody help this man. Oh, that's tragic. He does get away from it, gets the heal off. Vessel with another grab right there as well. Nexus on the ground, lots of damage being thrown down right now, and it looks like the Awakening Wizard is knocked out of this match as Reforged starts to rally. Vessel doing a great job of getting that grab down on that Awakening Guardian right there to cement that kill. Excellent damage coming out of Regent, lingering his SA right here, using Mass Destruction, looking for any sort of opening that he can find. Oh no, Hunter Blue went down. That's the Awakening Ranger getting caught in the background. Regent's on the ground now too, does get back to his feet as Calcarin gets very low on that Corsair for Dandy. Beautiful grab coming down. Does Vessel have the damage? Can Regent finish the job? They absolutely can. It is now 1v2, Reforged up in this second round of the first match of this tournament, and it does look like, oh my goodness, Vessel getting very low, and in the 1v2 this Hash might have it. No, Regent has glue for hands. Regent saving Vessel. Big damage right there. Reforged battles back for their first round win of this tournament. It is now 1-1. We are to match point altogether. Johnny, what a turnaround.
Reforged did exactly what they needed to do. If the Dandelion team is going to want to come in that melee range, they're going to want to play in their face. They're using their grabs to their advantage. I mean, Vessel got 2 grabs to my belief. We saw Regent get a nasty 3, put on the wide receiver gloves with the illegal glue and just ripped everyone who came within range and just threw them on the ground. And with that striker grab, or it's going to be a KD, and so you're going to be on the floor for an extended period of time. It allows people to dump damage. It's going to be a higher chance for another CC because there's more time to do so. It's nasty if they can keep doing this.
Yeah, it's gates up and away we go here into the final round of this first match here. And Vessel playing very slow. That's what we like to see. Their team wants to abuse the fact that they have grabs. Oh my goodness, Hunter Blue got super low and had to V out of there. He's just scrambling backwards. And now Vessel down at 40%, taking a lot of damage from Aqua Jail right there. Also has to V. Regent Jupiter forced to basically occupy 3 people at the same time, while his teammates come out of V and try to get back into the fight. Vessel using that Guardian sustain to get himself healed back up. The Hishashin going on to Vessel here. Going to go ahead and Phoenix right back out to his team members right here. Roasted on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Can they finish him? No, he does get his V off. And now Vessel's in a bad spot. Down at 20%, he has to iframe away. Guardian does have a lot of iframes in that kit. Nexus on the ground. Regent Jupiter doing a lot of damage. Oh my goodness, but no, he stands back up. Does get barely get his heal off. Vessel managing to heal back up here as time ticks down below 2 minutes. Neither team has lost anybody. Hunter Blue definitely down at 60% health, but kiting around with those iframes on that Ranger. Nexus on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Has to V out of that one. Now both sides running out of Vs as we tick down to the minute and 30 marker as health starts to cap here. Nexus gets sniffed. Nexus on the ground. Nexus is dead, but Hunter Blue had to overextend for it, trying to back up on that Ranger while Vessel plays collateral here, and his frontliners do their job. Hunter gets to safety right here, and now it is 2v3 for the Reforged squad. That all they have to do is basically wait out time if they need to. Just regroup here, but they don't need to. Calcarin's on the ground. Vessel taking a lot of damage. No V. Playing very slowly. Hunter Blue also, oh my goodness, has to get up there. Vessel needs to put his back to a wall here. Oh no! Vessel goes down. The Dandy team battles back. Now it's 2v2. Oh my goodness, the very first match of the day, and it's all the way down to the wire. Regent finds his man, and he is going to go ahead and V out of there. Regent finding catch after catch after catch here. Looking for, oh my goodness, finds him out of V on the ground. Leg drop is there. Does he have the damage? Calcarin, very, very low. Oh my goodness, down at 44 seconds. Health is now capped at 50% HP, and it is still a 2v2. No side has V. No one has V left, and all cooldowns are basically expelled at last point. No class buffs. Dandy getting very low. Regent trading really well there. Hunter Blue kiting back. 10 HP, and the bleed is ticking. Goes down. Reforged. Not a fumble it on the 5-yard line. Oh no. Absolutely tragic. 19 seconds on the clock. Can Regent actually make it happen? He has to find somebody right here. Oh no, this is absolutely tragic. Goes for the grab, not gonna find. No, he finds Calcarin. 7 seconds on the clock. Damage is there. Can he finish? No, Calcarin gets back to his feet though. Regent V's. That's gonna be the end of the very first match there. Reforged going down. You just hate to see that. Johnny, I need an adult.
Somebody help that monkey. Give him a banana, because god dang was he trying his darnest to just carry the team. He was gripping and throwing people all over the floor, and there was just not enough follow-up. It's rough in some of those situations when you get into the 2v3. I know a lot of time, whether it's nerves or inexperience or whatever it may be, people are wanting to like rush and go and go and go. If you're in a 2v3 and you're on that 3 side, stop. Take a minute, reset. You're fine. You have the advantage. Get HP, play safe, play smart. Don't have to rush it, you know? There's that timer, but they're on the timer, not you. And it's one of those things when you lose that 2v3 and then end up losing the 2v2 afterwards, it feels especially rough. I think an excellent performance out of both teams, though, going into just the very first match of the day. It was very back and forth. The first round was a little bit more evident on who's going to win. The second one was a reverse steamroll by the Reforged team. The third round was very, very close. So I hope the more matches are like that one.
Oh my goodness, that was absolutely crazy close. And like big shout out to the Reforged boys. They tried their best. They brought that right down to the wire. That was absolutely a spectacular match from both teams. So good fights to the Reforged boys coming out there. Dandy coming out very narrowly on top, but they're not out of the frying pan yet, Johnny. They're setting up the next match. It's going to be Dandy Team 2 again because of how the bracket is working versus Saybyeok. Are you familiar with Saybyeok?
I've definitely heard of the name before. Is it? I don't know.
So
it's again one of the
Saybyeok
teams
is a
that I've
Korean guild. So if you guys are big fans of the Korean scene here in North America, Saybyeok is your team. They're sporting Sonaring on the lawn. Now, I remember Sonaring from Vertex back when I was not current Vertex, but before this, when Schisms used to run it. Sonaring was one of the better fraggers in Vertex, top of the front page basically every time. Sonaring on the lawn, Bambi on the Guardian, B on the Kunoichi, and Serac on that Valkyrie. I'm actually curious if it's an Awakening Valkyrie or a Succession, but we will find out. And then we have Swiss Robinson again on the Hash, Kakarin on the Corsair, Nexus again on the Wizard, and Coolfin on the Guardian. Very quickly, Johnny, how do you feel about compositions here?
Compositions here. Now that we know that Nexus is going to be on the Awakening Wizard, I would honestly give it to the Saybyeok team or Saybyeok team. It's a very gross matchup. The Wizard is nice with some of its utility buffs, but the big thing that I think is important on Wizard in these matches is its range, damage, and pressure. It's not going to have that in Awakening. Guardian has a grab, Kunoichi has a grab. If Delon's Awakening has a grab, like that's a lot of anti-Wizard, and Awakening Wizard is one of the easier classes to grab. So if they're smart with it, it's going to be kind of gross. And then even if they have the sub in for the Valkyrie, they have a grab. The Valkyrie itself is also one of the most disgusting utility classes in the game. It has PA, it has heals, both are protected. It has a vacuum, it has a nasty BSR if you can last long enough to get that off. It's very tanky shield class with a grab. So I think either way, on this time, I would say it's the Saybyeok team for the compositional advantage.
Yeah, I think that overall, I think Saybyeok looks like they're going, not that I'm jaded at all, but Saybyeok looks like they might just run this town in this first round here of this tournament. I think that if Sona is playing Awakening Lawn, which it looks like he is in the Awakening spec, I think that Wizard's going to have a really hard time. Or the Guardian. Honestly, like if they sub in the Guardian, which I don't think they will, I mean, the Corsair is also very, very susceptible to those grabs. But overall, I think Saybyeok definitely has the advantage here. But I'm also very partial to Lons, Johnny, because like every time I see an Awakening Lon, I'm like, oh, they're just going to dash in and then they're going to grab them. You know, like nobody puts a W in grab like a Lon does.
Just dash snag.
Yeah, so I mean, how do you feel about a Dandy's performance in that first round, narrowly beating out Reforged, playing really well, but like where do you think the weaknesses were in their composition there?
One of the biggest things that we saw since they were doing a much more upfront, much more melee style fight, if they're going to fight a heavy grab team, they're going to get a lot of grabs off. We watched in the last one as the Striker and the Guardian both had a ton of grabs. I think it was in the second round. The Guardian had 2 and the Striker had 3, and then the third round the Striker had at least 3. It's nasty, and if those classes can follow up their damage alone, especially, and can just outright kill people, then it's going to make those grabs even more nasty. That was one of the biggest issues with Regent. Was the fact that he couldn't solo kill people because he's such a tanky evasion striker. So having somebody who can also kill you right off the grab is going to be very, very dangerous for that Dandy team.
Yeah, I agree. I think Awakening Wizard is extremely susceptible to grabs, and you're looking at an Awakening Lon, and it looks like an Awakening Kunoichi as well. Also, Bambi, it looks like, is playing the Awakening Guardian. And so, like, all 3 of these classes have excellent grabs, but like more importantly, like we saw that the Dandy's greatest weakness in that last match was the fact that they kept getting grabs, and I think the greatest strength of Saybyeok's team composition here is the fact that they can grab you all over the place. And Awakening Kuno, I'm not sure how much you know about the nuances of the 2 different specs of the class, but Awakening Kuno can basically just kite around forever. It doesn't have very many stamina issues when compared to its Succession counterpart. It doesn't have quite as much burst damage overall, but man, is it better at just waiting for its opportunity to succeed. So I think if that Wizard wastes his teleport at all, or wastes his Hellfire at all, I think that we're going to see B just jump right on top of him on that Kuno, and there's really no way around block jump grab. Like, what are you supposed to do on an Awakening Wizard?
It's really hard to get rid of that block jump grab or to dodge the grab on, again, Awakening Wizard. It's very much not an artillery class, but like a sentinel or like a very stationary class. And the block jump's going to be nasty. The Kuno, if they really want to, they can take the core. and do the vacuum into the constant tick KD. That it's really, really gross. It was one of the strongest pieces of the Kuno. And that can really, really suppress people and make grabs so much easier too for their team. So it's going to be nasty to fight with. In previous tournaments, I've fought with an Awakened Kuno before, and it can be very, very nice to have.
Man. Yeah, it's super rough to play against as this Awakening Wizard here. I almost maybe just sub in the Guardian, but like the Guardian's also going to be super susceptible to grabs, but at least has more iframes at close range to deal with it. But we will see Kakarin on this Corsair, this dandy team, out of the frying pan and into the fryer in these first 2 rounds here. We'll see if they can just 1-2 their way through this tournament. Magic Shield and Speed Spell coming out right there. Goes ahead and takes his pet out. That's very good. Setting up shop, throwing down Lava Field. Oh my goodness, gets stunned immediately by the Kunoichi. No follow-up right there. Immediately grabbed though. So much damage going down. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Into the V, and oh my goodness, they are sniffing. Nexus is on the retreat as well. Nexus goes right back in on that Wizard. Doesn't feel like he has an option otherwise. Goes for the Hellfire. CC'd again on the ground. No one really focusing him though. So he stands rack up, throws down the Cataclysm. Really struggling right now. Gets grabbed again. Sonaring, tossing him around like a salad. Lethal spin spree coming down. But Nexus actually staying alive. He made it just thrown out a bunch of DP and said, grab me, I don't care, because he is just not taking a whole lot of damage as the Saybyeok team has to pivot a little bit here. It's still 3v3 coming down to the 2-minute mark. Cataclysm coming out, iframes his way backwards, throwing down a lot of damage with Lava Field right there. Beautiful SA protection right there from Nexus as he stands and holds his ground very confidently. It looks like the Saybyeok team has decided, okay, well, we can't kill the Wizard. What do we need to do now? As they try to pivot around, B moving in, taking a lot of damage in trade on that Awakening Kuno. That's the biggest problem with Kuno, is that you have to get in close to do that damage. Bambi retreating out as well here. Tries to grab Nexus before he gets that heal off, but no dice. Aqua Jail going down, laying down slows on everyone. Saybyeok finding another grab here is Sona. Can they finish Nexus off? No grab, no heal remaining. Does he have Rabam heal? He does not. Goes for the Hellfire right there into Aqua Jail. Elementalization backward. Desperately trying to get himself away here as he's out of heals and trying to keep himself on the outside of this fight. Still 3v3 down into the last minute. Nobody saw the jump right there. Elementalization back, goes for the Bolide right there. Oh my goodness. Elementalization's himself back in. I stand corrected. Bambi almost catching him with a KD right there, but only catches the Stiffen. B tries to jump out on him, but Hellfire finds the stun. Absolutely beautiful right there as Nexus keeps kiting himself around on this one. Bambi right on top of him. Doesn't want that Wizard to be a part of the fight. As everyone gets very low. Lethal spin spree getting that Kunoichi's health back. We did lose Nexus right there on the Awakening Wizard, but everyone is very low as it's second grade mob ball soccer in the middle of the arena. Everyone just trying to trade their SAs, desperately trying to stay alive. As health ticks down here, you cannot get above 50% HP at this stage of the fight. Sonaring very low, goes down. A good trade back for Dandy. 2v2 right now. Kakarin trying to trade. It's going to come down to HP. 10 seconds on the clock. Kakarin staying in iframe, trying to stay out with his mermaids right there of the fight. B takes a lot of damage. Oh no, Robinson goes down. Dandy not looking very good. Saybyeok in the final moment gonna clutch the first round of this match. And oh my goodness, Johnny, what an opening round.
It was definitely the start of it with Nexus. I felt like he needed his life alert button on that one. He was just getting tossed on the floor, constantly screaming for help up, and whether it was a little bit of blindness from the Saybyeok team or maybe a good amount of peel from his team, he was definitely able to stand up a few times and wave that staff around and get himself back up on the HP. I was nervous a few times. I'm like, oh, well, there goes Nexus. Oh, never mind. Oh, there goes oh, okay. He just kept standing up and kept getting right back on, wearing that steel carapace. Yeah. Hopefully he can stay on his feet a little bit more for this next round.
I feel like he put on a Centaurs or a Sicils or something. He's way tankier than he was in this last match here. Sonaring going in, looking for any damage damage. Oh my goodness, takes such a bad trade on the Lon. Down at 5%, immediately has to get away here, but that's okay because Lon can just jump up and get away. He is class buffed. None of that is requiring any stamina at all. It looks like balance is on your screen right now as Sona gets all of his health back right there. Awakening Lon with a lot of health sustain as Sonoring wastes his class buff out though. Aqua Jail going down. Sonoring goes in, finds the grab on the Nexus. Nexus on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Doesn't get the V off. Sona on the assassination. And Lon does what Lon does best. Jump in, assassinate, and then do the goofy mean, I'll frickin' do it again. Oh my goodness. Constantly keeping himself safe from harm here. His class buff is out right now. Oh my goodness. Gets CC'd on the backside. Beautiful CC for the Ash right there. Good follow-up from Calcarin on that Corsair to put down some damage, forcing the V out on that Lon. Sonoring having to come out of V. He's going to go right back into the action here to help his teammates out. It is still 3v2. They can just play this slowly. Health starting to cap out now. A minute and 45 seconds left on the clock in this second round. B is on the ground, taking damage from that Corsair, but does manage to get back up. Sona spinning through everyone, looking for any sort of CC that he might be able to fish for. Not actually finding it though. Spinning around as well. And honestly, all they need to do is buy their time. Lon with some of the longest lingering super armors in the game. You can see that right there. He's not just standing idle right there. He is standing in full protection, casting one skill at a time very slowly. Lands on top of B, regrouping right here. B going in. Calcarin in the middle. Lethal spin spree on him. Doesn't seem to take any damage though. That Corsair evasion helping tremendously for Calcarin in the middle right there. Sona waiting for his time to strike. Waiting for people to look away from him so that they don't see him come for this engage right here. Oh no, he's been had. He has to dash through. Looking at the Z-axis engage here. Nope, not going to quite find anything. But again, we're at 50 seconds on the clock. Health is tipped down. Robinson's on the ground. Good grab right there. The damage should be present. Oh my goodness, Sona with a clean mop up on that one as well. Finding the CC there. And now Calcarin is actually the only one left alive. It does look like it's going to be a quick 2-0 for this Saybyeok team. Poor Dandelion. Honestly, like they're in a 1v3 here, but there's not much you're going to be able to do as a Corsair into 3 grabs like this. Well, resistances can only help you for so long as he swims around in a circle. Thank you, DJ Danny, for that Calamity 7 golden pig that we now all have on this server. Saybyeok going to take it 2-0 in this round. Honestly, that's an amazing match for Dandy.
I thought the way that Sonoring decided to play after the first death from Nexus was just honestly the way to play. One of the biggest issues of Awakening Lon is that it is a little bit stamina starved, and so instead he sat on the edges, just kind of watching and waiting for an opportunity, whether it be a friendly CC, an enemy CC, or just a good opportunity to use that Lon dash crab and snag somebody and put him on the ground.
Every time,
and as soon as there was a CC, he followed up and blew up that person. I mean, that's just the way to do it. You play smart and just start watching and waiting for opportunities. You don't need to risk anything. You don't need to risk yourself out there. I mean, they just played that really, really well, I think.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a classic story of me have more guab than you. And like you would think that doesn't matter as much at high gear score, but it actually definitely does. Having all of those grabs helps tremendously. It's really good fights to the Dandy team though. It's really tough to come right out of the gates. The first 2 matches of the tournament are both you guys, right? And they came out, they barely win that first match. It looks like they're going to be okay in the second round, but just not quite coming up with it. That was kind of a hard counter for them on that composition. So good fights to the Dandy boys there. Yeah, no, okay, so it looks like, yeah, they're already starting to set up this next match here, Johnny. So they're kind of moving right along here. Yeah, they're kind of moving right along here. So we're going to go ahead and look over at the versus screen of our next match here, which is going to be Margoria versus Vagabondz. We talked about this fight before here. We have Margoria, we have Hey Ryujin on the Sage, Wayne Kurz on the Striker, Yak Veron on the Guardian, Lynx on the Warrior, and then we talked about this Vagabondz Meow on that Shy, Pookie on the Ranger, Excalibur on the Warrior, Buff Orange on the Mystic. I'm curious, how do you feel Mystic actually does in the 3v3 arena, Johnny?
There is a Striker on the other team, assuming they don't sub him out. So the Mystic would have a bit of an issue dealing damage into the Striker, but let's say the Striker isn't in the table and they sub him for the Warrior. Mystic probably wouldn't be too bad of a choice. The Sage is going to be able to do some damage to him, but the Guardian and the Warrior are going to do absolutely nothing to that Mystic. It's got good grabs. It's got a lot of iframes. I believe it has 4 iframes. It's fairly protected. Some of its combo has a couple of unprotected skills or in some forward guard instances, but it's still a strong small scale class. I think it can be just as oppressive of Striker, if not a little bit more in some instances. When paired with shy buffs, that class is also terrifying. I mean, anything is scary with shy buffs, but Mystic is another class that can be really scary. Going into this team, I don't know. I think Mystic, Warrior, and Ranger are all 3 classes that could be subbed out for each other. It's just going to be a case of who's the better players, and I think that would be who you would want into this, into the opposing team. Maybe keep the Warrior and the Ranger just to help deal with that Striker, because the Mystic's going to have a really bad time. But I think the shy buffs are going to be big. You're getting HP, you're getting BSR. You know, the Warrior BSR is nice for the 10%, the 50%. Succession isn't going to be able to use it unless it's 100. And then Ranger, I don't know if Awakening Rangers actually use their BSR or not.
Not as far as I'm aware. I did see Reforged funneling it in the first round, so I'm gonna go with no. I don't really see Flannels using it very often either. I think that Shy does an excellent job of bringing down, if there is a gear discrepancy, of really basically negating the gear discrepancy with all the extra buff stats that you get. But more importantly, people don't talk about Delusive Light very much, or Misty Haze. Misty Haze debuffs your opponents by a percentage of their evasion, assuming, of course, that they have a Pen Soul. You're talking about, I think it's 20% of your evasion just comes right off the top, right? And then Delusive Light is another debuff that Shy has that basically takes all of your crit and accuracy away from people trying to do damage to your team. And I think that Shy, as long as they debuff correctly, 25% evasion, I stand corrected. It's 25% evasion and DR right off the top of your DP. So if you get hit with that buff, now granted, it's got a 3-minute cooldown, but I think that if Vagabondz plays this correctly, they can actually space it out so that they have Misty Haze in every single round, right? And that they have that shy buff, those shy buffs in every single round. Now, one weakness that we didn't talk about, Johnny, shy buffs only last 1 minute. Right. So like if you're playing against the Shy composition, you know that they have to group back up and they're going to be very vulnerable. At least the Shy is, and everybody has to group in the same spot on top of that Shy once every minute or so. And so you can, and if they don't get that group up off, that's when they're probably going to be the most vulnerable. So honestly, the last year when we had this tournament, people were new to this Shy. People thought that Shies were terrible compositionally. They didn't like them very much. And then Shies just went the distance. The Shy compositions just ran the tournament, right? This time people are coming out very much so in support of the Shy compositions, but I think that also people have evolved to play against them more effectively as well. What are your predictions here? You think Vagabondz 2-0, or do you think do you think Margoria is going to be able to take a round off of them?
It's going to be dependent, I think, heavily on how much gear Margoria has. If they have a few accuracy accessories, then they can damage the Shy instead of just letting it just run free. Because it's a thing of if the Margoria team has no accuracy, that Shy can play risky.
Hold up. We need to cancel that prediction. Apparently, the Margoria team no-showed. Got cold feet. So we are just moving right into, it looks like, what is it, SalveLucrum versus Lifestyle on this one. So I'll go ahead and set that match up real quick. But do you know about the Lifestyle boys at all?
I've fought them quite a bit in BA before. I know there's been in and outs. Like I think Yellow was in there for a bit. I've seen some names that have like gone in and out of there as like a retirement / BA guild. Who I don't know who's on the team for them today.
It does look like SalveLucrum is going to be Meth, Pig, and Vivette on that Shy. Blanc, Luna on the Wizards. This is the hot boys from SalveLucrum.
Yep.
And then into Lifestyle, which has Flowers on the Dracania, Travesty on the Awakening Mystic, Junso on the Guardian, and then Shadow Ghost on the Ninja. Both of these teams are absolutely stacked in terms of their player skill level. So, like, I'm curious, who do you think takes this, Johnny? Just right off the cuff.
So I know, if I remember correctly, Pig and Meth both have a ton of gear, and they're both coupled with a Shy. That's going to make that Striker super tanky. It's going to make them super disgusting to try to evade with those grabs again. They have the 2 grabs. One of them is KD, one of them is a Bound. Musa, when it has shy buffs, you better watch your back, because that Musa is going to surprise you out of nowhere and will bring you down quick. Flowers is playing Awakened Draconia, totally a balanced and fair class. Nothing wrong
super
with it
fair.
at all.
Yeah, looks good to me. Yeah.
Travesty is a very geared Mystic. I assume we'll be playing Succession, coupled with Junzo on the Guardian, if not filled in with the Ninja. And Guardian deals a lot of damage. If playing Succession, it's a lot of Cone, forward guard. It's a lot of burst. If they're playing Awakening, it's going to be a lot more sustain instead of burst damage in a more circular SA fashion. I would honestly probably want Awakening Guardian just for the sake of Shy is going to have a lot of skills that can mess up Succession. Musa is going to just destroy people. And Striker is also very well. The Striker grabs are going to be awful for an Awakened Guardian. I don't know. I think I might actually want a Succession Guardian in that case, because that Striker, if he's smart, and that's Pig, he's not going to let you do anything like God Incinerator. He's just going to grab you.
I agree. Yeah. No, I think the Suck is better. I think it's going to cast a little bit faster and have just a little bit better burst damage overall in this matchup. But I think that Lifestyle definitely has the advantage here overall. I think Flowers on the Awakening Draconia, he's the rank 1 or 2 player overall in North America in the AOS season, and the rank 1 Draconia overall probably in the world. Literally wrote the guide on Awakening Draconia, and is now playing with Travesty, who is known for his Awakening Mystic, or just his Mystic playstyle in general, and then Junso, who wrote the book on Guardian. I mean, these guys are stacked. Now, I will say, Meth, Pig, and Veti, you have a Striker for Grab Initiate, Veti on that Shy to buff everyone up, and Meth for big damage. I will say that it does leave them definitely very vulnerable overall to, like their team composition is kind of one-dimensional. Dodge the shot, or dodge the Striker grab, and you're going to be okay, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, dodge 2 of the Striker grabs, but yes.
Yeah, big true. Yeah, you gotta dodge both Striker grabs. So I don't know, this Meth CP or Meth Pig composition, a little one-dimensional, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Flowers coming out of the gates here right now on this Awakening Draconia, looking absolutely snazzy. Look at that drip on that Draconia right there as he looks forward on this, playing very, very slowly. Junso and Travesty all playing slowly next to each other there. Flowers gonna go for his first engage here, not actually using Dragon's Flight to engage, doesn't actually need it yet. Junzo staying right next to Flowers here, staying nice and protected. Iframes all over the place. Awakening Draconia, very protected class, so long as your APM is relatively high. Pig playing very slowly as well, but I think compositionally, they have to kind of play slowly. Wait for these grabs to come down. Veti gets hit in the back there, but doesn't take a whole lot of damage. Who is that taking a crazy amount of damage? Is Junso. Gets very low, just like Vessel did on the Guardian in the first round as well. Guardian not looking very good so far in this tournament right here. Junso has to V to get out of there, while Flowers and Travesty kind of cover him on the retreat there. Veta not able to lock them down on that Shy yet, able to abuse those bongos. Junso kiting around at 200 HP. It's only a matter of time. Down he goes. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, say the hot boys. Beautiful job by CP. Pig on that Awakening Striker to find that kill right there. It is 2v3. That Pig is on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Does Flower have the gear? No, he has to get out of there. He's just taking too much damage on the trade. Shy buff. The bongos actually catch Flowers right there. Oh my goodness, does manage to get his health back from that super balanced Draconia sustain under the gazebo right there. Tragically, Pig does get CC'd at that moment. Meth's on the ground as well too. Oh my goodness, trying to go for the follow-up CC. It just doesn't look like that Flowers and Travesty have the damage to make anything happen. It's CC after CC for them. Another grab onto Pig. Double CC right there. That's on the ground. They're just knocking him around. It's like tossing a salad. Flowers finally does get CC'd, but scrambles back to his feet. Oh, a good grab right there out of Pig. Does force the V out of Flowers right there. But this is an amazing comeback at a 2v3. Oh no, Pig sniffing like a bloodhound does find Flowers, and that probably will be the end, as Travesty on the Mystic probably will not have the damage to kill 3. He's standing there idle. He knows he's doomed. He's just trying to waste cooldowns at this point as he stands still. It looks like he might just have a full DP set on, as they are they're struggling to kill Travesty right there. Full DP sets are super allowed for this tournament. That is how strong a DP set can actually look out of a composition right there. What you think there, Johnny?
Going into this and like seeing some of the initial CCs, I wasn't sure how the lifestyle team was going to do. They got a lot of the CCs off. They're doing a lot of really good positional things, but it honestly just looked like a really hard gear check.
Yeah, it's a little rough.
I definitely think after watching that Musa's evasion, I couldn't see quite if it was a lot of misses going on or what was the case there. But they were not dying when coupled with that Shy. They're going to have a lot more HP. They're going to have other buffs that are going to allow them to attack a lot faster and move a lot faster, to evade things, or to just get combos off, because one of the big weaknesses to evasion is lower damage. But when you have a Shy buff, you can get some funky combos off, and see if that continues into round 2.
Yeah, Junso, I think, is the biggest one. I think he got checked so hard. He was like, okay, well, I need to play a little bit more defensively here. I think Vessel experienced the same thing in his first round. So Guardian's just struggling here. Junso getting grabbed. Lots of damage going down. Does take the early V. Gets himself out of jail quickly there. But the sniff coming through. Meth looking for him. Not going to find it, though, as Flowers in hot pursuit to try and protect his ally right there. Junso goes for it. Misses the grab onto Pig right there as Pig starts dropping the leg as well. Junso blinking across the arena, sliding on in, looking for any sort of CC or disruption that he might be able to cause here. Oh my goodness. Messes up the jump over the wall and gets absolutely turboed for it. Air attacks all the way to the bank. Travesty on the spiral torpedo, and down goes Junso. That is just absolutely tragic. Travesty stuck in a composition where he can't do any damage. He's got to wait for Flowers to rejoin the fight here, and all this enemy team, Meth and Pig, know what they need to do. They just need to run down Flowers at this point, because Travesty is a full DP meme. They just need to play around him right here. They certainly have their work cut out for them. An uphill battle here, is I'm not sure how much gear Flowers actually has. Eat this from the Shy, not actually connecting right there. Travesty doing a great job SA rotating on the Mystic right there. Going for Flowers on the ground. Down he goes. It looks like it will be a 2-0 from the Hot Boys in SalveLucrum on this lifestyle composition. I felt like both teams played this about as well as they might have. I think Junso experienced gear as a big factor in that tournament. But honestly, man, the Guardians are struggling today, Johnny.
They're not having a good time. It's going to be an instance of, if you don't have the gear, sometimes you can just get told no. It does not matter how well you play, and I think this is going to be one of the biggest examples of that. Of when you have 2 evasion classes with a Shy, you better have a lot of accuracy. I don't know if they would have been able to one combo Pig or the Musa there if they didn't have, I don't know, at least 1050, 1100 accuracy, and that's a lot of accuracy to have in these tournaments. It's going to be the thing where we talked earlier, where 715, 720 gear score is going to be what's relevant, and that's still with accuracy accessories. That's with at least 2. If you get into the invitational, it's going to get to the point where it's like 730 plus, and you're going to need 3 or 4 accuracy accessories if you're a standard DR class. It's rough unless you're playing some sort of class that has a lot of accuracy buffs. Zerker has a few. DK has some good ones. Ranger has Tree. Or Sage is Sage. It's going to be really rough if you go into those evasion teams. So Guardian's going to have a struggle bus if they're not really, really geared here.
Yeah, I mean, even if they are geared, like, I don't know, man. Like, it really just looks like they're just getting blown up. Like, I know Junso has a lot. Junso's got a lot of gear. And so does Vessel. I mean, you're talking about 730 gear score plus players, and they're just getting blown up. I think it speaks to, like, the state of tanks in BDO. I mean, you also saw Travesty on the Awakening Mystic. That didn't look super great either, right? Like, that felt like the Mystic just didn't really have an effect. As good as Travesty is, you know, his class is just struggling here. But it looks like they're starting to set up the next match, so I want to go ahead and go over it real quick. This is, I know what you're all thinking. Wait a minute, we just saw this. No, this is actually, we saw Dandy Team 2 versus Reforged Team 2, and now this is Dandy Team 1 versus Reforged Team 1. Gambit Warlock on the Hash, Pariah Medic on the Shy, Arian on the Ninja, Nebman227 on the Sub, sub on the Sork. And then you have Reforged team, Fonda, one of the best Corsairs in the game. MVI, a menace on the Sage. And I believe Death Grip is going to be in for this match on the Awakening Dark Knight. Johnny, compositionally here, what are you thinking?
Do you know who Death Grips is subbing in for if he is going to be in?
He's subbing in for Shy Gamers.
For Shy Gamers? Okay.
Yeah, I believe.
For this, the Sage is going to have a lot of damage with its buffs. It's going to be able to blow up the Shy if necessary. If the Ninja or the Hash are also evasion, it's going to be really good to that. The Corsair, I assume LaFonda will be playing Succession.
He can play both. I know he was talking about he had prepped both for this tournament. I know this team in particular. I know both of our teams had done a lot of scrimming practice, but this one for sure, they were sweating and like getting their scrim practice down and really practicing up for this tournament. So I'm excited to see them play here.
I definitely think this is a hard one. I almost want to give it to the Reforged team on this one. The DK is going to be able to help with a lot of the evasion if that's the case. DK has a ton of damage too. It's one of those classes, if it did have a Shy or a Caster, where it can use some of its abilities like Camo Slash and just get right behind you and just blow you up instantly if you're a squishy class like Ninja or Hash can be on DR. It's going to come down to, again, in all of these matches, a lot of it is how gear goes. But I think just from a pure compositional standpoint, I would give it to Reforged on this one, even with the Shy. Yeah,
I think Death is the best CC, and that is traditionally the CC that Dark Knights and Sages do best. At the end of the day, and I think LaFonda is basically just running tank for them to the best of his ability. Now, I do think that this Dandy team definitely has a lot of accuracy. I think they're some of the only people in the game that can actually one combo LaFonda on his Corsair. So he might definitely struggle here. But we will see as we are loading into this. I'm desperately running over to the Reforged boys because I just want to see my boys play here. It is Dandy versus Reforged, round 2 of this one. Death Grip on this Awakening DK, my alma mater class. That's what I started playing on. I was on it for 3.5 years. I absolutely love Dark Knight. You can't go wrong with super hot elf chicks with cool boom boom effects. All right, and it looks like, oh my goodness, LaFonda just going straight in. Envy and Death Grip playing back, though. Wheel of Fortune comes out, going for the airstrike, playing very defensively right now, as just leaving LaFonda until he actually is able to find a CC running around on that Corsair. Looks like Death Grip goes in. Oh my goodness, goes for the slanted balance, not going to find anything. Very vulnerable on that airstrike, jumps out of it. Paramedic, not going to catch anyone on the bongos this time. Twilight Dash coming down as Death Grip tries to work the outside of this fight. No one finding CC yet, standing right next to that Shy. They're not able to get any damage done. Death Grip jumping around in bongos. This is not where you want to be right here. LaFonda actually not taking any damage in the middle, but it's MVI on the Sage that takes a really bad trade and is kiting back right now. Looking for any opening that he can. Down at 20% health, up at 40 now. Death Grip also taking a bad trade. Lunacy is not what you want to go for right there. Another SA trade on that Dark Knight. Looking around, they have to disengage. Jumping just to show that he's safe over here and just waiting for the re-engage. Oh, goes for the class buff right here. Goes for the turn and re-engage. It looks like it's a Succession DK after all. The Wheel of Fortune not going to find anything. Looks for Lunacy. Gets that Ninja very, very low on that trade right there. Excellent DK play. Good trade right there as well. The Hash down at 10%. LaFonda in the middle. I'm not trapped in here with this bubble with you. You're trapped in this Thunderdome with me. Oh my goodness. That is not the person that you actually want to catch right there. And it looks like the Suck DK Death Grip gonna find that first kill onto the Assassin. Envy finds a CC, but not able to follow it up. Looking for Aryan right now. It is a 3v2 right now. Ninja and Shy, all they have to really do is run down this Ninja in this composition, this Reforged team comp, playing very, very well. You can see how practiced they are, how patient they are, playing around each other, trusting each other's gameplay potential, and allowing LaFonda to look for any sort of pick. Death Grip really only going in when he absolutely has to, although trading relatively poorly right there as Aryan comes in with the blade spin. One bad trade here, and he is going to die. Aryan getting down to 10%. They don't need to juggle this right now. Twilight Dash going in. Wheel of Fortune airstrike whiffs wide. Aryan kiting his way around around on that ninja, relatively unprotected, and actually doing an amazing job of it. 38 seconds on the clock. Death Grip trying to close the gap. Spirit Legacy not going to find its mark. Wheel of Fortune goes through, gets caught in the Shy Bongos. That is not good. Goes for the V. Wants to play this safe. 26 seconds on the clock. All they have to do is disengage. 22 seconds now. Still a 3v2. The ninja looking for anything now. Feeling desperate. Going for the red rain. Gets that DP debuff down. A lot of bleed damage on that red rain as well. You can see how patient Death Grip, MVI, and Leifon are playing. 10 seconds on the clock. They don't have to do anything here. Malice comes in, goes for the blade spin, block jump right there. Death Grip iframes it, making sure he doesn't get any sort of damage down on himself. They don't need to do anything. They wait out the clock. It's Reforged 1-0 into this dandy team. Oh my goodness, Johnny, you were right, man.
I thought the Reforged team played very, very well there. It was very obvious that they weren't getting gear checked, which is always one of the big fears, especially going into this kind of a composition. The Sage putting out a absolutely ton of damage. Death Grip's able to go around the field and help finish off, I believe it was Gambit who was V'd or just out of the fight and finishing him off, making it into a 2v3. One of the big scary things in that 2v3 near the end is that I thought somebody was going to get CC'd in the bongo.
Oh, I know,
if
dude.
If you get CC'd in bubble, you can't go anywhere. Because if you V, you're stuck.
There we go. Leifana going right back in on this Corsair here. Yeah, I felt the Reforged team played super well there. Awesome. There are no bugs in the arena of Arsha whatsoever. No one has quite engaged yet, though, so it's totally fine. There we go. Death Grip jumping around. Twilight Dash into Airstrike on that DK. Right there, playing, again, MVI and Death Grip playing so slow, waiting for Leifonda to make the play for them. They don't need to get aggressive. They don't need to risk their HP bars. They just need to play slow. Now, Leifonda's down at 40%. Arian gets hit with the airstrike, though, and a beautiful bongo comes down. Death Grip with an excellent CC right there. Not able to find anything. Follows it up. There's the class buff on the Suck DK. The next 30 seconds, he can basically kill anything with just about 2 skills. He's jumping in. He's looking for any amount of damage he can put down. Leifonda relatively low, but he is very, very tanky on that Suck Corsair. MVI just kiting himself around slowly, trying to conserve his stamina. Prime Medic trying to keep his team inside this Shy Bongo, but that is not a safe place to be necessarily, as Death Grip throws out an enforcement on him and does a lot of damage. That Shy getting down to 40% health there. Leifonda still at 40%. No one able to actually DPS him. Death Grip gets grabbed. Oh no, down he goes right there. Gets grabbed, and that is how quickly you die on the Succession DK. Envy's gonna go down as well, and Leifonda is the only one left alive, just like that. Oh no, absolutely tragic. That is how quickly you have to be playing. That is how well you have to be playing with this team composition. One slip up, one mistake on the Succession DK, and it is just over, just like that. Johnny,
it's got to be the best definition of a melee glass cannon. It's quick. It can CC you from nowhere, and it will burst you down. But if you are the one who gets a CC on it instead, oh, goodbye, DK.
Absolutely.
It's going to be... I don't know. The chat's saying, yeah, Suck DK is not the play. I think Suck DK can be it, but I think in a lot of compositions it's going to be a little bit rough. There are some instances for it. They have Leifonda who can go and sniff out some CCs, who can go deal a lot of forward guard damage to people, because that's going to be percentile and not gear based. Really good to try to just get some debuffs on people, so hopefully they can keep playing with that.
All right, Leifonda diving right in on the Corsair again. Looks like the same game plan here. It's winner take all into this final round here, as Leifonda again is just standing in the middle of everyone. Oh my goodness, taking really bad damage right there. Has to V. That is not a good way for them to start. Envy is full engaged right now. That is not good. Taking damage on that DK as well. Leifonda comes out of V, is going to scramble back to his feet and kind of reset this fight a little bit here, as Envy kind of struts in and looks for any sort of CC he can find on that Suck Sage. Gambit Warlock actually taking a bad trade from Leifonda right there. Death Grip forcing a V. Spirit Legacy almost claiming a victim right there. Oh my goodness, Envy gets kicked to the ground by the ankle biter Shy right there, and it does actually manage to get back up, as no one was able to capitalize on it. Envy looking around for any sort of damage. Gambit Warlock on the ground, taking a lot of damage. That's a beautiful CC from Envy right there, cleaning up that kill, and it looks like Reforged, but they were up last time. Oh my goodness, that's a beautiful Thunderdome. Look at that beautiful Shy Bubble catching everyone inside of it, and that slows all of their enemies down as well. The debuff cannot be understated. As people are starting to take damage now, Leifanda doesn't seem to care very much. Death Grip also getting around it on that DK, that attack speed buff, doing a lot of work. The Ninja down at 15% health now as well. Arian very, very low. I'm not sure he can turn it. He's the only one on his team left that can do any sort of damage, and he is kiting back, doing everything he can, running away on that Ninja, but it looks like that DK is going to find his mark. No, not quite. They're just going to regroup. Minute 15 on the clock. They're going to get Leifanda healthy again. They're going to play this slowly. They don't want to what happened to the first Reforged team to happen to them. They went up 1 kill and then went down. AOA has absolutely no bugs. Okay, there we go. Arian on this Ninja, all eyes on him. He has to find a CC in the next few seconds here. Blade Spin coming out, really just trying to keep himself protected. Oh no, that's not what he needed. Death Grip there on the CC. Down he goes. That's gonna be the end of this Dandelion team. And Reforged Team 1, against all odds, is going to take that round. We will not be knocked out by Dandy. Take that. Oh my goodness, Johnny.
Reforged team playing absolutely fantastic there. Envy is doing exactly what you want the Sage to do, right? Like if the Shy Bubble is going to be up, he's going to be on the outside as like a mid-range clash, just pumping damage in the inside. And when you have Gambit on the hash or you have Arian on the Ninja, if he wants to get any sort of damage on anyone inside that bubble, they're going to have to take that same damage from that Sage. And if that Sage has their buffs up, oh, you better watch out, for they will leave you in the dust. So I think that was a really, really good play from him, just constantly putting that pressure on both anyone inside the bubble, along with putting damage on the Shy. Sage is going to be a class that can do that. They have an 18% accuracy buff that they can basically just keep up permanently. So it's going to work really well into hurting the Shy. Yeah,
we do have an instant replay there of the final moments of that match where the Ninja did get caught. Let's go ahead and take a look over at that real quick and what happened there. As he's kiting around here, everything looks like it's going very, very well. He's playing super, super well. Uses the blade spin, comes around the side of the gazebo and gets immediately caught by the DK right there and absolutely cleaned up. Actually just tragic. We were all gunning for him in that final round. It looked like he might have been able to turn it, to be honest with you. He was finding the CCs there, but on the edge of the gazebo, DK caught him. It looked like was Shadow Bolt. Caught him on the stiffen, and then the follow-up was there. Oh, I just got reloaded. Uh-oh.
No bugs at all.
There's no bugs in the arena of Arsha. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay, I'm still in the arena. We're fine. I'm still in the arena. We're good. Still in the arena. We're good. All right. We do need to start looking forward to our next match here as they are starting to set it up, Johnny. So let's go ahead and take a let's go ahead and peep over because this next one is looking pretty spicy. You have Ventus Team 1 with Kosini on probably the best Awakening Wizard in the world, with Kairos on the Dracania, Kashira on that Shy, so another Shy composition, potentially flatlined on the Warrior, but I don't think he's going to play in this match. Muted has Enza on the Ninja, Holovax on that Berserker, and he is very, very good. Ariha on the Dark Knight, and potentially Falcredin on that Guardian. Who do you think's going to win this one, Johnny, compositionally speaking?
Composition, I think it's got to be Ventus from a compositional standpoint. Dracania, Wizard, and Shy. That's yeah. Kosini is going to be Awakening Wizard, which I do think is a little bit weaker than Succession Wizard in this kind of small scale.
Not when it's Kosini.
But not when it's Kosini, right? It's like the old Witch and Wizard argument of Witch is worse than Wizard, but not if it's Belly.
That's right.
So this is going to be an interesting match. It's going to be the Alliance because Muted and Ventus make up Vented for Node Wars, so they got a little bit of a friendly rivalry here. Enza is a very, very good ninja. I fought him and know him quite a bit. Hollow is on Succession Zerker. He's been on that thing for God knows how long. I'm a little bit less familiar with Araha on the DK. DK can be very strong. I would say Succession is probably a little bit better in place now than Awakening. I think the comp though has gotta easily be handed to Ventus here. That is a disgusting team. And then they have a Warrior as the backup. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like one thing to note is that a lot of people forget that Awakening Wizard actually has a grab, and that like normally I wouldn't say that that's like super relevant, but in this particular case, I would say that it's very relevant because it's Kosini. I think that Kishira buffing him up on the Shy is really good. I think that Kosini definitely is always going to have problems on the Awakening Wizard though, so I'm nervous to see how he's going to play around Holovax and Enza on that Ninja. I think that those grabs will be coming for that booty. You know what I mean? And they have multiple, at least Zerker has multiple grabs. And then Ninja has the block jump grab, which is, you know, of course, like an iframe into a grab. That's going to be really tough for Kosini to deal with. I think Kashira basically is going to get ignored here. Kairos on the Dracania might just get bursted. We have not seen, I'm not sure if this is an Awakening Dracania. Or a Succession Dracania. I would assume that it is an Awakening Dracania, as we've seen the Guardians compete in this tournament so far have been really struggling today. I would assume that Succession Dracania is very similar to that. So looks like Holovax on the Suckzerker, Johnny.
Yep. He's gonna. I'm assuming he's gonna be a very geared individual. He might have a DP swap for this if he wanted to. I would almost want to sub out Falk, the Guardian, for the DK. And then just have him run and be a DP grab bot and let that Guardian just baseball swing away. But let's see what happens.
All right, there's the beast form right there going right. Oh my gosh, Holovax gets rejected immediately by the Awakening Dracania. He says, I'm sorry, we can talk this out. Comes out of V, gonna get sniffed. Oh my goodness, barely iframes out of it and has to run for his life. Oh no, tragic. Holovax, stop watching the stream and pay attention to what's going on. Gallops himself back in, immediately gets CC'd again. Oh no, Holovax with no V. Oh, a tragic outcome for Holovax right there. Kairos just making short work of him right there on the Awakening Dracania. Every single time he tried to engage, he went straight into the Shy Bongos. That is not where you want to be. Enza getting very low from that Muted squad now. It looks like Muted hurting really, really badly. The Ninja and the DK both down at 40%. It looks like down goes the DK. Yuzina is dead, and now they're making short work of the last one. This Muted squad, finding a CC there onto a couple people, but they're just not long for the world. There's Enza on the ground. Down he goes. They have to be talking in voice. Okay, so it works better when you go in and you use your keyboard before you begin actually trying to fight your opponent. A good stiffen right there coming in, but just not enough. Ventus making short work of that Muted squad. Holovax, I think obviously Johnny needs to play a little bit more conservatively.
He initiated from Lava Piercer into the Beastly Wind Slash, which should make it a forward guard, and was immediately CC'd out of it. I don't know if there's a little bit of desync or what quite happened there, but that looked really rough to get CC'd. Came out of the V, almost got sniffed, ran away, healed up real quick with, Zerker's fantastic heals. I think it was Unstoppable Beast. No, it would have been, Beast form. That would have been the heal for him. Coming back in with Lava Piercer again into what looked like Raging Thunder, the spin, and immediately CC'd out of that. Might have been a little bit of desync again, but maybe just a little bit of a throw. Yeah. Hopefully he'll learn from that, though, and continue into this.
I think he'll just back himself off the gas pedal a little bit there. I think he was just kind of gallivanting in on that last one. Now he's focused up, ready to go for this one. Looking around, gets CC'd again. Kairos showing how strong that Awakening Dracania can be. Holovax doing a good job of actually holding on to his V, though, right there. So excellent job there. Trying to throw out the stun, not going to find anything. Looking for Kosini, finds the grab. No one is here, though. He's got him in his hands forever. He says, boys, look what I found. An Awakening Wizard. But Kosini just stands up and says, no, he just grabs him again. I'll do it again. He says, just jumping around, actually doing a great job of CCing Kosini, but his team just not there to follow up. Holovax staying in the middle of everything, showing why Succession Berserker is actually an excellent tank class in this game. With that big health pool like that, he still has V available, gets knocked over, knows to hold on to it, very expertly holds on to the V there, gallops himself away. The Dracania coming in on his booty right there. Holovax trying to jump his way back into the fight. Goomba Stomp all over the face. Under the gazebo right there, running in. Finds the grab. Says, boys, look what I found again. Slams him to the ground. That's the Dracania this time. No one able to actually follow up, though, on any of these grabs that he's finding. He's playing much better in this next round here, but his team is just not there to follow up. Very tragically, still a 3v3, though, as we tick down to 1:30, and health bars start to get cut off here. As you continue in the read of Arsha, your health bar starts to get capped lower and lower in order to force a Victor. Holovax jumping into the middle. This is, of course, going to hurt the tank classes. Cosini tried to trade with him with that Cataclysm. Gonna go ahead and grab the Awakening Draconian again. That's not where you wanted to drop him right there. But it actually does bring him out of the range of fire, but does still have his V. That's why it was important that he held his V earlier. Holovax manages to get out of V. Down at 20% health, gallops himself back in there. The fight is getting very close now. Down at 50% health bars. Oh my goodness. And that is what happens to tank classes as the health starts to tick down in the AOA, is they just become so squishy and they get one shot from the air. Keep in mind that Zerkers definitely do take air attacks like that in the air when they're jumping around, Goomba stopping. Absolutely tragic there, but I did feel that, Johnny, they played their composition much better into that second round. The first round was a little rough, but I think that they came back. I think Muted looked really good in that second round.
Hollow on the floor a few times, but it's rough when you do those extended grabs on Zerker, 4 times in that one round, and there was just absolutely no follow-up. That's one of the big issues with having ninjas or suck DKs, is that the follow-up they can have when there's a lot of pressure in an area can be especially rough. That's why I think I would have honestly rather had Falk on the Succession Guardian instead of the DK, because one of the advantages of the Succession Guardian is that it has nice ranged cone abilities that are frontal guard, and it can just stand 30 feet away when somebody gets grabbed and just baseball swing until they're dead, and that burst damage is disgusting. So I think it's a little bit rough for the Zerker to make up for their mistakes in the first round and the second, and then just have no backup. But then again, the
Ventus
team
boys
playing absolutely disgustingly. The Dracania getting a lot of CCs, being all over the place. There's damage being pumped out. The Shy doing really well too. So I think it was really much in the Ventus' favor compositionally. So I think Buda did better than some might have expected.
Yeah, I think that people thought that maybe Holovax played relatively poorly in the first round, and although that may have been true, I actually think that it was more that Ventus played super well. When he went in and engaged, and immediately, like the second that he was barely unprotected, he immediately met the Awakening Draconian and got CC'd. I mean, that's just, at a certain point, you're like, oh my gosh, that guy's just good. You know what I mean? Like I don't think that there's very many people in NA that could have reacted that quickly to a werewolf galloping into the middle of them. But yeah, good fights to both teams there. I think Muted fought really well, but the Ventus boys probably going to go pretty far in this tournament here. As we look ahead to this next match, it looks like we have Healing Team 2 versus GayAgenda Team 1. No, I did not stutter. That is the guild's name. Healing Team 2 is Vindictus Heroes on the Berserker, Hunger Bull on the Musa, Phantom Assassin on the Wusa, and Moody on the Mewa. GayAgenda has canceled on the Sage, appropriate. Papalisha on the Corsair, and Kayvon on the Dracania. So compositionally, how are you looking at this right now?
Compositionally, you have the Berserker, the Musa, and the Wusa. The Wusa is going to deal an absolutely ton of damage. If the Berserker gets any sort of grabs and wants to extend it, especially if they're tanky, the Musa and the Wusa are going to be able to just dump a ton of damage. I hate that both those classes' names rhyme like that. Going in with the other team of GayAgenda, you have Corsair, Sage, and Dracania. Dracania, of course, is very, very strong. Sage is very, very strong. A lot of damage. Corsair... I don't think Corsair is going to be that great in this matchup. If it's Awakening, it's going to get ran down from the Zerker or the Musa. If it's Succession, there's not any Q blocks for it to really abuse. Those other classes are going to be able to stay away from it and deal the damage as they need. And there's a lot of grabs to grab that Corsair from that Zerker. They have that buff that gives them more grab pen, so the resistance isn't as useful. Knowing Healing, though, as a guild, they have a lot of gear. So I think it's probably going to be a little bit of a gear check from the Healing point.
Can I get a gear check on aisle 4? Gear check on aisle 4. Yes, I think that Healing, people are saying 4v3. No, they just have a sub. GayAgenda opted to not have a sub here. I do want to emphasize the importance. I think that it's very cool that GayAgenda has come out to fight here, and I would not count them out here. I think compositionally speaking, I think that a Sage does a lot of damage and is very, very slippery. Wusa does have to stand still for extended periods. Musa can be traded with. Pretty well as long as you have iframes or frontal guards, and a Berserker. I mean, as we saw in that last round, I think you can play around a Berserker really well. So I think Papalisha is a pretty well-known player. I think that his Corsair is actually going to do pretty well into that Zerker. I think Corsair overall does pretty well into Zerker. How do you feel? I mean, you said you feel like it's a gear check, but if you take the gear away from it, who do you predict? You think it's you still think it's healing?
I would still put it healing. Yeah, the Zerker is going to be disgusting. I think you can play that class really, really well into a lot of compositions, whether it both be on your side and the opposite side. It's got the double grabs. It can extend the grabs, and with when it's paired with a Wusa or even just a Musa, that's a lot of damage to follow up. We saw in the last match where Holovax would get grabs and there was no follow-up damage from the Awakened DK or the Ninja, but Wusa and Musa are going to follow up with some damage, and it's protected and it's high. So that's my prediction, is that a grab's going to happen and that person is going to explode.
That is an accurate prediction for any round of the tournament, Johnny. I love it. As the Zerker runs straight in, he actually plays a little bit safer here. Oh my gosh, the Sage from GayAgenda almost just detonated in the middle of his Lightning Prism. The GayAgenda, these are just all over the place. Somebody pray for them. Oh my goodness, healing just absolutely gear checking them. Feels really bad, man. As Kayvon looks around asking where his team is. Canceled going. Can we get them canceled exactly here? Looks like Man Milk on the Sage down at 10% HP and scrambling around, but honestly, all three of them still I stand corrected. Down goes the Sage. They are gonna go down right there. It is now a 2v3. GayAgenda scrambling around, doing their best to handle the gear discrepancy here, but oh my goodness, Wingbeat does so much damage from that Wusa, and it looks like they just one grab after another. Tragic round one. Healing looks like, oh, I mean, they did get the V off. It is a 1v3 for this Corsair. It seems like it might be only a matter of time. Poor Papalicia. Doing his or her best. Down he goes for the grab right there. Beautifully done. Healing making short work of them, at least make it quick, right? I mean, I think that they could bring it back here. I think it's definitely possible. We're gunning for him right now. That I think that the Sage really learned his lesson right there, Johnny. It's a lesson we all have to learn, right?
It's definitely one that he's going to have to be careful on where he's going to stand. That's a lot of burst damage, and he is not very tanky. And then you have, I mean, the damage from the Musa Pyrostorm, or used to be below the belt. You have the Succession Zerker grabs to worry about. You have the Wusa Clouds bringing in the literal Thunderdome. It's scary to be any sort of stationary class against that team. I definitely would not want to be on that Sage.
That's right, and I am literally looking at a man whose family name is canceled and whose character name is Man Milk. Papalicia going in right now, looking for any sort of opening. He knows he doesn't have a lot of time before the Vultures descend on his team, and it looks like Man Milk is absolutely getting turboed. Papalicia gets grabbed off the back foot of it. That is not good. That's the MVP right there. Man Milk somehow dies in the background to the splash damage that they were using to kill Papalicia, and so does his teammate. Absolutely tragic. Honestly,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's absolutely tragic. Healing with a big gear check coming out there. I do want to say big shout out to GayAgenda for putting themselves out there and coming out to participate in the tournament. We absolutely love to see that. Yeah, maybe they didn't have enough gear there, but I think that it showed a lot of guts to come out and perform like that. And honestly, they were trying to play together, but they all died at the same time. You know what I mean? That is teamwork.
That we play together, we die together. They were sticking in it.
That's right. Squad goals right there. So, I don't know, Johnny. Is there much else to be said with that one?
Not too much. I think the initial predictions of there's a lot of gear on one side, and that's a really good comp on that side too. So, I think that's going to be a really, really strong team to fight in a lot of these matches, and it's going to be one of those things where if somebody just doesn't have the gear to match, they're probably going to be going for the long haul. I think it's going to be one of those long haul teams.
You hate to see it. That's okay though. I think they did their best, and that's what really matters. We appreciate those teams coming out in these tournaments here. Let's go ahead and look ahead to the next match here. I've already got the versus screen ready. They don't quite have it ready to go, but it'll give us a second to talk about it, because this is Dojo Team 1. So Saku on the Ninja, Zoldian on the Nova, Akumatsuki on the Striker, and Ulazaroth on the Warrior. I'll be honest with you, I'm not familiar with those players, but then on Ventus Team 2, we see Greeds on the Ranger, Patchies on the Sorceress, Shag Nasty on the Warrior, and Coyote on that Striker to sub there. Yeah, this might be a little rough. What are you thinking here, Johnny?
Ooh. If that's an Awakening Nova from Zoldian, that class is unethical in AOA. I think especially after the Crystal Madness tournament that I hosted, watching Camellia and the other Awakened Novas kind of just run all over the place and just carry it away. I think that's definitely going to be a class to watch out for. If it's Succession Nova, I think it's in a little bit of a weak position, especially versus an Awakened Ranger on Greeds and a Warrior on Shag Nasty. I would say I would go for Ventus in this scenario. I think the Ventus team is going to be stronger. I would almost want to probably sub out the Sork for the Striker, but the Sork's definitely not a bad class to have it in.
Really? You want to take out? Okay, so why do you favor the Striker over the Sork here?
The Striker is going to be able to put in another grab class. The Sork, I think, is going to kind of struggle against. They're going to struggle against a Striker. If it's an Awakened Nova, I think they're going to have a hard time trying to catch them or keep up with them. If the Nova really wants to, they can run all over the place. The Striker is a lot of oppression. It's a very, very oppressive class. It's going to stick in with the Ranger and the Warrior, while Sork tends to be like a gnat or a mosquito on the sidelines. Granted, with things like Grim and Crows, you're able to dump in a lot of damage in CCs. But I would rather, as a Warrior, if I was in Shag Nasty's position, I would much, much rather have a Striker.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I'll dumb it down for those members of the audience who might be new to PvP. More grab, better than less grab. Simply put. I think that maybe they do sub in the Striker here because then they all have a grab to deal with the enemy team here. I think that Zoldian on the Nova, I think that if he's playing really well, honestly, it depends. Is it an Awakening Nova or is it a Succession Nova? Because if it's an Awakening Nova, okay, well, I mean, good luck grabbing that ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like a Succession Nova, it's just you're just running them down. You know what I mean? It's like the easiest class to grab in the whole game. So Succession Nova's strategy is to place himself against the wall and then place his nose on his keyboard and, of course, roll from left to right and repeat until your enemies are either all dead or you are. But Awakening Nova, definitely a lot more involved on the back side of it. So I think the Awakening Nova actually fits the composition more. And then you've got a Ninja with it. I think that those are big playmakers. And maybe, do you like the Warrior over the Striker for the Dojo Team 1? You're looking at like Ninja Nova. What do you think goes better with a Ninja and a Nova, a Warrior or a Striker?
I think the Striker, just because they're going to be able to dump a lot of protected damage, they're going to be able to be like a frontline tank to like kind of just keep on people, allowing the Ninja and the Nova to kind of find and seek out those CCs. They're not going to have as much damage as the Warrior. But with an Awakened Nova on uncapped and a Ninja on uncapped, I don't think you need the extra damage. I think you just need a lot of just in your face oppression from that Striker to be there. If it's a Succession Nova, I'd probably honestly want a Warrior in that case. The Succession Nova only has the one iframe, the back C.
Yep.
It has mostly SA. All of its shift skills are SA. It has a forward guard for a Rebalm skill that's a slow. Again, it's a really good class to just stick in a corner or against a wall. But I would say it's dependent on the Nova. If it's Awakened Nova, I'd rather have the Striker. If it's Succession Nova, I'd rather have the Warrior.
It looks like she is standing in Succession here and is wearing a beautifully dyed Succession outfit, which will look amazing for the 30 seconds that I believe that she will be able to survive for. I think that, if you're going into a composition with this many grabs, I think that you are really going to struggle on the Suck Nova, but I think it's going to be, the onus is going to be on him. I think that if he plays really well, I think they absolutely can take this W. You know what I mean? But I will say that Ventus is strong like Nippon Steel folded 1,000 times. So, I mean, we're going to see. We're going to find out today.
It's also going to depend too on if he is a DP build, because if he's very, very tanky, Axion, the gargoyle dragon thing, and the pawns, the soldiers with the spears, rapiers, whatever they are, swords of some type, are going to CC people even when the Nova's on the ground. So if they're a DP heavy and they're just going to play for that CC slow bot, that is something that would work out, I think, a bit better than a traditional build.
Yeah, I think so as well. Well, it's all going to come down to that Suck Nova and seeing how well they can actually play together. Patchies looks like they are in on this Sork here with Greeds on an Awakening Ranger. Oh, boy. Oh boy, this is going to be a tough composition to beat here. It's gates up and away we go. This Ventus team looking very, very intimidating out of the gates here with the beautifully dyed outfits. As they kind of iframe around. Both teams playing relatively slow, though. It looks like a succession sork.
Too.
Yeah, I was about to say it looks like a succession sork. We were both just as surprised. Succession sork definitely trading with a lot more frontal guards than the super armored awakening counterpart. Greeds just kind of baiting to see if anyone will go onto him. Akutsami on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Doesn't get the V off. Ventus claims their first victim of the dojo right here. And it is not the Nova, surprisingly enough. Zoldian playing really well, doing his best. Oh my, never mind. He's gone. All right, and then he died. Well, he was playing really well until he died. Okay, he did run in and then died immediately. So I think that there might be a bit of a gear check going on Team Ventus here.
There might be a little bit. Initially, when I saw the Succession Sork, I thought it was going to be a worse matchup into the Suck Nova, because one of the big things with the Succession Nova pawns, the soldiers again, is that they can teleport behind you and do a stiffen CC. And Suck Sork has a lot of forward guards. You have Black Wave and a ton of other skills. Succession Sork does really, really well when you can back yourself against a wall or in a corner and just spam out that Black Wave and other skills. It's got the DOD, which is a really strong range skill, or something of the dead, right? I believe it's called
Dream
of Doom. That's what it is. And it's gonna, I don't know. I think this is gonna be very much in the Ventus favor.
Yeah, the Zoldian going back in on the Suck Nova. The only way in is forward, throwing down those pawns, trying to get any sort of CCs that he can, trying to find greeds right there. Zoldian taking a lot of damage. Oh my goodness. All they have to do is try to get behind them. He's desperately trying to stand on top of his ally to provide any sort of peel there, but has to V out as he takes too much damage. His GM is also in a lot of, he died in V. His GM is also very low, and it's just, oh my goodness, it's Ventus all the way into the second round. Another great round for that Ventus team. Oh my goodness, Ventus looks a little strong, but in fairness, it did look like their average gear score looked to have been about 150 above their opponent.
Yeah, the striker in the Suck Nova just kind of falling over like wet paper towels against the Ventus napalm steel is definitely not what they folded 1,000 times and then they folded the enemy 1,000 more. It didn't look too good.
That's right. Did their best impression of a lawn chair, but you know what? They did a great job. The Dojo, thank you for coming out. Again, we love to see those teams come out. I felt like the Nova actually did surprisingly well. I felt like if he had like the gear and like the DR to maybe survive there, I actually think he might be able to make something happen. But tragically, going to go ahead and be knocked out of this one. Oh no. Oh, Johnny. I didn't realize it, but look at this next match. I just honestly, sometimes it's just not fair.
It's not okay. It's
sometimes
the same
it's
thing
just not
again.
fair. It's poor GayAgenda is literally going to get healing. Their first team got healing, and their second team also got matched up with healing. I mean, that's a little rough. That's a little rough. Just out of the frying pot and into the fryer for the GayAgenda here. We have Chi on the Draconia, Little Saturn on the Wusa, and Remedy on that Berserker into Butt on the Sage. Sony on the Warrior, Plaything on the Wusa, and No Gamble, No Loss on that Hash. I think we can all vibe with that last statement there. Johnny, do you want to tell him or do you want me to tell him?
I'll let you have the floor for it.
All right, I think that it might be another gear check on aisle 3 this time, guys. The GayAgenda really struggled in that first round against healing, but hey, maybe this is GayAgenda's team too. Maybe they saved their super geared people for team 2, and they've got people that can actually fight with healing. I mean, healing does have a tremendous amount of gear. That's what that guild is known for. That's why you didn't drop on Gif and Raza Temple node for a super long time, is because you knew they were going to be there. You just don't drop on a 40-man or on a 30-man T4 node with them on it. You know what I mean?
Not when they're there. And even Sony, which I think he's only been there for a short while out of BR, but if anyone watches his streams, to quote Neptunes, every warrior is built like Sony or like a Tavala Timmy, and there's no in between. And he's definitely the upper part of that. He is the best in class tournament winner for the uncapped variant, I believe, a few years ago. He's gonna be a monster on his own, and I assume his two compatriots in the field are gonna be the exact same.
Yeah. I actually think that I don't think it's that Sony.
Is it fake Sony? Is it a different one?
Oh, it's fake Sony. I'm not entirely certain if it is Sony. The Biceptimus Prime is what everyone's talking about. There's Sony in the chat. Sony, you're definitely the real stud. Don't.
The real.
I just want to be... okay, no, you're the second. I'm just going to say it. Biceptimus Prime is Sony rank 1, okay? You are Sony rank 2, and you know what? Second place is really good. In the Olympics, it's almost better than first, but not really.
Yeah. The two eyes in Sony are Roman numeral for 2.
Yeah, tragic. Absolutely tragic. But I'm not sure which Sony it actually is. And they are not in the arena yet, so I can't actually tell quite yet. But I think that looking at this, just, I don't know, compositionally speaking, I think that Healing might just be walking their way into the round of 16 here. And as we look forward to the round of 16, you have that Saybyeok team versus that Vagabondz team. Johnny, what are you thinking about that match?
Here, let me find that. The Saybyeok versus the Vagabondz. Is that that was from earlier, correct? That we saw.
I'll go. Yeah,
here it is on 26.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and set it up for us here. Where is my Saybyeok versus
the Vagabondz team did have a bye. The Saybyeok team won 2-0 against the Dandy Team 2 team, which did win their previous match against the Reforged team.
Okay, don't. No. Saybyeok beat Dandelion.
Oh, Saybyeok and Dandelion.
Who beat us? Okay, all right. Let's get it right. It's somehow worse. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look over at the versus screen for this next match in the round of 8 here, as they are taking a while to get this next match ready. We have it's going to be Saybyeok versus Vagabondz. This is not our next match, but we're kind of looking to the future here into the round of 16. Saybyeok with Sonoring, Bambi, B, and Sarek. Remember, this is the Awakening Lawn composition that we saw do so well into that Dandy team. How do you think it does into a Shy composition in this Vagabondz team?
Looking at it initially, Excalibur is going to be one of the easier grabs for the the Kuno. It's very, very rough with the vacuum on Warrior. If they get sucked into that, and it is also KD, so if the Warrior tries to use any of its forward guard skills, which is a lot of them, they're going to get CC'd out of that. Awakening Ranger should be able to maintain iframe and SA to stay just fine within that vacuum and the KD followed up by it. They could get put into a position where they could get grabbed, but again, they have a lot of iframes and a lot of ways to stay out of that.
I think that
the Shy, though, of course, is going to be a menace to fight against. So I don't know. That's 3 grabs,
I think the
though,
Mystic is the
Shy
weak link.
team.
I think the Mystic is the weak link if they have him in. I think they have to have the Warrior in, because Mystic likes to stand in super armor, and you're talking about 3 grabs with like as easy as lawn, right? Like that's going to be kind of miserable for them. It's Saybyeok. Okay, I apologize. Make it easier to read. Not my problem. Okay. I will try to do better in the future. That being said, I think it still goes to Saybyeok in that round as well, just because they have so many easy grabs to land stuff, and then it's only a 2-threat team coming out. Shies do really well into compositions that have frontliners that they can debuff. You know, people that are going to stand in their bongos. I mean, you're talking a lot about a flank composition, right? So, like, I think that the Shies might not do as well into that comp there.
It's definitely going to depend, I think, on how hard engaged the Saybyeok team goes into the Vagabondz team.
I have good news. It is the real Sony. It is rank 1 Sony. It is rank 1 Sony. It is rank 1 Sony. It's not the level 61 Archer coming to see how well he can do in his Tuvala in the Best in Guild tournament.
Okay.
Yeah. It is the best in class winner, Sony Biceptimus Prime himself, representing on this Warrior. I think that makes Healing just a little bit more weighted. I'm not sure how much more favor they could actually get on this one. It's going to be a little rough for GayAgenda, but I think that maybe if they get a couple good grabs down, Sony has traditionally... okay, you want the real facts? Biceptimus has not done super well in other tournament. Like last year's best in Guild tournament, it was round 1 and done for Biceptimus. So like I'm hoping we don't see a repeat of last year's tournament in this one. Hopefully we see more of a performance that he gave us in the Best in Class tournament, which was a year prior.
it he's definitely gonna have a little bit of a hard time trying not to be, on the floor a little bit. But I definitely think that he's gonna have the teammates to back him up to just dump damage and to keep him alive. He's probably gonna have a cadre switch if absolutely necessary if he ends up being the main person they focus on. That's what I would do if I was in his position. If they know that you're going to be the easiest CC, having some sort of cadre switch would be a really smart thing to do, just to make sure that if they do try to prioritize you and they try to dump the damage on you, they try to get the grabs on you, you're going to be hard as heck to kill.
Yeah.
So going into it, let's see if he ends up doing that, or if he decides to just go full AP monkey, or if whatever he wants to do. He's got the gear, he can do what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, very tragically, the chat very kindly pointing out that healing is, in fact, suppressing the gay agenda in Black Desert Online.
God, when you were like that, it just feels bad.
You knocked both their teams out. We're allowed to say it. We're definitely allowed to say it. Okay, it does look like we are starting to get into this match here. Healing with a super stacked team composition going into Gay Agenda here. I will say that the Hashashin is one of the best matchups in the game against the Succession Berserker. I mean, it's one of the best catch classes in the game when you're fishing for CCs. It really is. And I think that Hash is just going to be really strong into a composition like this where he can just be as aggressive as he wants. I'm hoping that Gay Agenda does not come out of the gates very scared, comes out strong and confident as the strong individual people that they are. But like realistically though, they really do have to be really aggressive right off the start and hope for a really good pick and then try to go for a 2v3. I think is probably their only.
Did you say that Awakening, or that Hash was Awakening or Succession?
I am not sure. I'm not sure we're going to get enough time to notice if in this particular round. Succession,
if it's
Hash.
Awakening, I don't know. I think Awakening Hash has got to be one of the more slept on classes, especially when it's geared. It has that very good grab. It's very evasive. It has the...
Here we go. Oh, we're jumping.
The jump. Oh,
we're jumping straight in, and it's really aggressive right off the guard. Go, just like I wanted them to be, but the Draconian, oh my gosh, has to be. Everybody has their rosary. Begin praying the Hail Mary for the Gay Agenda here. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, and they just get wiped out in the first round very quickly there. Everybody got their beads and is praying together for them. Absolutely tragic. They did, honestly, I like that they came out very aggressive, strong, independent as they were. Tragic how it did turn out in that one there. Honestly, they were, oh god, Johnny, they were dying from standing. The Zerker got killed in beast form.
I saw the Zerker try to lava piercer and just go from 100 to 0 real quick, and I was like, that did not look like Holovex earlier.
Little rough on the first round, but I think they know now. Just don't get hit is the strategy for Gay Agenda here as the gates go up into this next round here.
Best advice in Gay Agenda is roleplay a Sork.
That's right. Here we go. We're going to dive right back in again. Goes for the grab, misses it, ducks right back out again. No one has actually died yet from Gay Agenda. This one going a lot better. Never mind. There goes the Draconia, and it looks like Remedy gets CC'd. Oh, Remedy is going to go down. Down he goes as well. Sony killed him with Solar Flare. Normally you have to follow that up with another skill, but Solar Flare was the combo that time. Which was tragic. Tragically, Gay Agenda doing their best in this tournament. I actually, I want to give them props for coming out. You love to see that level of bravery coming out. And honestly, I'm sure they were laughing in voice. It's no big deal. I think they repped their guild very well, much better than, well, every other guild that didn't show up for the tournament, right? I think they did a great job. Healing very tragically is one of the most geared guilds in the game, so they just got a bad luck of the draw, but overall, I think they did very well. Johnny?
Going out and being able to do these kind of tournaments, especially on a public platform, is, something to commemorate, and it's the thing of maybe they realize that, hey, there's a bit more gear in the game than I thought there was, and they can go and do some circles at the mobs and get a little bit more gear score. Maybe they really liked the idea of it. Maybe they host some in-house stuff. Maybe they come to any of the camp tournaments that happen. There's quite a bit of those hosted by PA and the public itself. So I would like to see a lot more representation from them. Maybe in a scenario where it's a little bit less gear checky.
A lot less gear. Yep.
Yeah. I want to be able to see those players perform and play on those classes and show off what they can do. So whether they, again, go get some gear score by hitting the good old mobs, doing some boss rush or whatever it may be, or just participating in some capped content, I would love to see them again. So hopefully they're brave enough to do that. And round of applause for them for coming out to it.
Yeah, right on. Okay, and we're looking at our round of 16 now. And our very first match of the round of 16, as we were discussing earlier, is going to be this Saybyeok versus Vagabondz matchup. Now we can kind of deep dive into this a little bit more. Sonaring on Alon, B on the Kunoichi. That composition looked really good. And I think it does an excellent job of trying to pick apart a Shy composition, Johnny. Like, how do you think the Vagabondz is supposed to play this with a Ranger, a Warrior, and a Shy into rat compositions like this?
I think their best chance to do anything is going to be have to hyper focus the Guardian. The Kuno and the Lana are going to be able to kite and stay away as much as they really want to from that. Especially when dumping damage, the Guardian is going to be very much a great grab target for the Ranger and the Warrior. The thing is with the Kuno is it's going to be very, very, very oppressive with the vacuum into the KD because it's a ticking KD. And when you're sucked into that vacuum, if you try to go for the grab, you're going to get pulled back if you try to do any unprotected skill or a forward guard skill, which Ranger, Warrior have a lot of. It's going to be really rough. Shy has a lot of unprotected stuff, so if they're trying to do some intramural skills in between bongos or buffs or CCs or heals, whatever it may be, they're going to get heavily punished from that Kuno, and the Guardian's just going to be able to dump damage in an area and stay protected with SA so that the Shy can bubble all at once. If the Kuno and the Guardian are dumping their damage in the CCs there's not a lot that the Rangers and the Warriors can do to peel them off, I think. And then, of course, Sonaring on the lawn, they're going to be lurking on the edges waiting for an opportune time to do the dash grab. So that's my prediction, is that Saybyeok is going to win this one.
I'm gonna dash and then I'm gonna grab them. Well, geez, Sona, what's your matchup against Warrior gonna be? Well, I'm gonna dash and then I'm gonna grab them. Well, what's your matchup against the Dark Knight? I'm gonna dash and then I'm gonna grab them.
I'm gonna grab them.
Yeah, I think that like with a really, really easy composition to execute like that, I think Saybyeok does have the upper hand. That being said, I think that the Vagabondz team can definitely win. They absolutely need to stay together, I think, is the key to this composition. They have got to stay together. It's if they get separated, they're going to get destroyed. You've got a Kunoichi potentially waiting in stealth in the wings, right? You've got a Lon that's constantly flying and attacking you from the Z-axis, right? And then you've got, was it a Guardian is the final one in that composition, who's just running around trying to slow everything to make it easier for the rats to actually get a hold of something, right? So I think it's going to be a tough composition to play, but it's definitely doable with the Shy buffs. And I think if the Shies, like, as tough as flankers are to catch in Shy bongos like this, it's definitely possible. Like, if you're just bongoing in the center and you're playing and your teammate it's really your teammate's job to kind of pull them into the Shy bongo less than it is your job to make sure that you land a good Shy bongo, right? I think if Vagabondz plays around their Shy bongos really well and their Shy bubbles really well, get their debuffs out, play around their Shy, I think that they definitely have a really solid shot at winning this thing. I would still give it to Saybyeok because it's just an easier composition to play. You know what I mean? For the same reason that it's really easy to play with frontline classes in large scale PvP. You just PA and then you just go kill everything. There's no micromanaging at all. There's no push pull. You just PA and everybody goes in and you kill them. Right.
You just dive in and kill.
There's no, it's just that easy, folks. Like, so, yeah. I mean, like, do you think that there's any sort of gear discrepancy between Vaga and Saybyeok?
I don't think there's going to be too much of a gear discrepancy here. If there is, I think it's going to be somewhat minimal. Saybyeok in the last round seemed like they had a decent amount of gear. Vagabondz should have the gear for it. Vagabondz, I believe, had a buy. Yeah, the buy versus Magoria. So it's going to be I don't know. I don't think there's going to be any sort of discrepancy. I think it's just going to be the instance of we're going to see the Shy buffs on the Warrior and the Ranger pop right away, and then the Lon, the Guardian, and the my brain's not helping me. What's the third one there? The Kuno.
Yeah, the Kuno. Yeah, and
the
it's an awakening
just,
Kuno.
They're just gonna like, all right, and they're just gonna sit on the edges for 60 seconds, and then they're gonna dive right back in.
Right. Well, but I think that if they get too over aggressive, I think that they could just get punished really fast. We've got some of the Saybyeok players in the chat fighting Saybyeok in the chat there, in the Korean characters there. So that's really cool to see everybody coming out to support their guilds. That is, of course, what this event is all about. We absolutely love matches like this one. This one could be really, really close. I think this is the first time the Vagabondz team has actually gotten to fight at all. I think that the Mystic... oh, it looks like they have the Mystic in.
Oh, was it buff orange, I believe?
Yeah, buff orange is in instead here for the Vagabondz team. And so it's the Shy, a Mystic, and it looks like an Awakening Ranger on Poogie. I think that, man, Mystic has to stand in a lot of... She's very, very protected. It's a Succession Mystic, it looks like. She's very, very protected. Very sadly, all of those protections are super armors, right? And when you have solid super armors all the time, it leaves you very susceptible to those gwabs, right? So like I don't know, I don't know. Suck Mystic does have really good single target damage though, and she has her own grab, and she does have 2 or 3 iframes that are really good at avoiding grabs. So like it is possible. I don't know, do you think their composition got better or worse with the Mystic?
I think taking the I think the Warrior's gonna really struggle against the Kuno. It's definitely one of the most oppressive classes versus it. The Lawn is also a very oppressive class versus the Warrior. I would say Mystic is probably a little bit better. One of the big things with the Mystic is that even if there's a vacuum in that KD from the Kuno, they're going to, I believe it's Delighted. My brain's not helping me out though.
God.
Of course I would know all the, if you ask me tomorrow, I'll know them, but
of
not
course.
today.
Yeah, naturally.
Naturally.
So the Shy just used all of its Shy buffs when the BSR reset. So before every single match in the AOA, you have to start and then stop and then start again, because Jay, in his infinite wisdom, didn't actually add a way in the Arena of Arsha to reset BSR. So the only way to do it is to start the match, stop it, and then start it again from the get-go. So like the Shy buffs actually aren't up right now. They were already used. They're already ticking right now. So like he got fooled. The gates went up, and he definitely got fooled on that. I mean, he's making the best of it. He did funnel the BSR over. See, there it is. He barely got the Shy buffs just in time there at the start of the match right there. So Buff Orange going to move forward here. He's got to look, honestly, almost very defensive on this Mystic. Look for some sort of grab. Wolf's Frenzy coming out. Oh, goes for the CC. Finds Sarek is on the ground. Good single target damage. Oh, Sarek's going to go ahead and stand back up. Very well disciplined to not use that. Oh, my goodness. Good grab coming out. The Mystic has some moves. B is on the ground, but Buff Orange gets CC'd when he tries to throw down some damage. Fortunately, in evasion, we trust. Buff Orange just stands right back up with those Shy buffs. There's the class buff coming out for the Succession Mystic right there. Buff Orange showing just how strong Mystic can be here. Does get grabbed by the Lawn. No damage can be thrown out right there. No one has died yet, but a lot of Vs have been forced. Going for the uppercut. Diving right back into the middle of the arena. Meeting back up with his Shy right there. Looking for any sort of opening. Mass Destruction into Soul Basher. Looking to linger that SA. Again, playing around this Shy very, very well in the middle of the arena here. Exactly what they need to be doing in this composition. Sarek does get stiffened, but not able to follow it up with any sort of KD there. As both teams just kind of trading their SAs right now. B's on the ground. That's a Kuno. He dies immediately to Poogs right there. And it looks like Sona was the one that helped clean it up on the back side of it. It is a 2v3. Sona and the Valkyrie against the world now. As it looks like they did sub in their Valkyrie because they thought it would be better compositionally for this, but it is not working out for them quite yet here. That Poogs is definitely... oh my goodness, finds Mamo on the Celestial Spear, but not able to follow it back up. Okay, they're getting re-Shy buff. This is another big moment right there, is that they're very vulnerable. I would love to see teams capitalizing in between these Shy buffs in that one, because Shy buffs only last for a minute right there. Both teams, second grade mob ball soccer, trading SAs in the middle of the arena. May tossing out that Lantern skill, which gives his allies a lot of DP buff for a very short period of time. It's basically a short little PA that a Shy can throw out for you. Sarek on the ground right there. He is forced to V. Buff Orange gets very low here. Finds a beautiful CC on the Sona right there. Goes for the Soul Basher. Just doesn't have anything up. Can't follow it up. Sona stands back up. Wolf's Frenzy to try to re-engage. Goes for the Mass Destruction. Not going to find anything there either. Buff Orange keeps keeping himself very, very tanky, playing around that Shy right there as he keeps spinning and spinning that Lantern, giving him all of that DP in the world. Thunderpound going down, rotating that frontal guard right there, trying to keep himself from taking too much damage. 15 seconds on the clock, 3v2. Buff Orange, iframing backwards, looks for the damage, finds one. Oh no, now it's just the Valkyrie left to arrive. Orange goes for the CC on him, finds it, down he goes. Vagabondz finds the 1-2-3 onto the Saybyeok team we thought was going to do so well, Johnny.
Holy cow, the Mystic just came and gamed absolutely out. Just grabbing constantly, getting the CCs, and unfortunately not able to deal a lot of damage on his side, but was so tanky, just continuing putting that pressure on, just giving the death by 1,000 cuts, just making it very, very oppressive. That's what you can do on Mystic, especially if you have a lot of gear and you're very, very tanky, is you just get in people's face and you don't let them play the game. You say, it's the good old Spider-Man meme, I got you for 3 minutes.
That's right.
And they just keep you in the arena.
We've got that. This is why you lock onto the Kuno, is that he's invisible right now. They can't see him. The Shy buffs did go out there. He's looking for any sort of engage he can find there. Be engaged from the side. Not going to find anything. Flash Slash going to disengage right there as he continues to try to work the side of the fight here. Ooh, goes for lethal spin spree, gets a lot of damage down, forcing a V right there, but gets stuck in the Shy Bongos. Oh my goodness, permanently stuck, but nobody followed up on it as they were all looking for Sona Ring coming out of V. Gets killed immediately. Sona gets sniffed like a bloodhound, and this Saybyeok team looks like they might get knocked out here. It is a 2v3. B's on the ground, not taking a lot of damage though. Innovation we trust on that Kunoichi. He needs to play slow, goes for the block jump, works his way around to the outside of the fight again, tries to get outside that Mystic. That's not the target he's looking for. Thunderpound catches him on the stiffen on the backside of it and gets CC'd again. Beautiful Shy CC'd by Meow right there. Kicked him at his below his knees and actually floated him with the Shy, one of the only CCs in the Shy's entire kit. Beautiful Shy CC right there. Good grab on a Boogie, but B gets CC'd again by the Bongos on this Shy, who is out of his mind right now. And the Valkyrie, not too impactful yet, is down at 50% health. B doing everything he can to try to make a play happen. Looks like he's ready for a re-engage. Goes for the Dance Macaw forward. Dives in, tries to help his teammate. Sarek trying to get down Judgment of Light right there. No damage actually coming out though. And the Valkyrie just not having the damage or finding the CCs that they need. Very tragically for this Saybyeok team. And that Shy composition just keeps buffing them. Actually, they're actually going to need to rebuff on Shys right here. This is where the opening is going to be. Orange is on the ground, but Pookie ended up going down right there. They traded back. Saybyeok breathing life into it as they went to go re-Shy buff. That's exactly what I'm talking about, is they got CC'd out of the second Shy buff right there, and then that tragically lost another player, being too greedy with it, and now it is a 2v2 again. B finding another KD. Lethal spin spree on top of everybody. Beautiful play by B right there. Eat this from the Shy, coming in, trying to do everything he can to keep his teammate alive. 35 seconds on the clock, and it looks like it's going to come down to HP as no one wants to give an inch. Block jump grab for B. Looks for the damage. Not going to find it though. Meow backing up now. 25 seconds. Health bars are locked at 50% at this point. Buff Orange trying to group back up with his Shy, uses Wolf's Frenzy, does manage to get there. Oh, Meow going for the debuff, does land it on both of the Saybyeok members. They're going to be able to take a lot of damage here. Lethal spin spree, not catching anything right there as they go for the re-engage. B finds Meow on the CC, 5 seconds on the clock. I'm not sure they're actually going to be able to pull it out. It's going to come down to HP on the timers. Saybyeok does take it. Oh my goodness. Down to the wire. Saybyeok comes up with the return win in that one, Johnny.
Barely winning by the HP. We have a 49-50 versus a 48-48. That's really, really, really
that
close.
That is 1% was the difference. That's why you wear the HP earrings. Or that's why you play the HP rings. Right there is literally the difference. That 1% HP, Johnny, just making the difference.
Having it into the 2v3 we saw earlier, I wasn't sure if Saybyeok was able to bring it back. B got a really, really nice grab, and then both B and their teammate was immediately CC'd, I believe, by the Shy, and it was just no follow-up. There's a lot of the times where Orange will get a CC and just no follow-up. It's just rough and back and forth. This is a really good match. Can't wait for the next round.
And it's a best of 5 as well. So like even if they lose this round, they're doing okay. Poogie kiting around on that Ranger, doing an amazing job keeping himself alive. Lethal spin spree coming down right there. Not gonna find anything really, just used for the CC. Poogie finding a grab onto Saybyeok right there. No damage to speak of though, as the Valkyrie just stands right back up and heals himself with that nice Rabom heal that he has in the backside of his kit, or in the Rabom aspect of that Valkyrie kit. Meow going for the bongos in the middle of the arena. Gonna find B. No one capitalizes on that stiff in there. Celestial Spear not quite gonna find its mark as Buff Orange jumps around on that Mystic as well, looking for any sort of CC. Oh my goodness, someone's on the ground in the middle. Does manage to get a V. It looks like Sona did manage to get his V off, and now they are on the sniff. Sonaring does get out of his V safely this time, unlike last round. Poogie iframing around. Oh my goodness, Celestial Spear missing that Ranger, but hits the follow-up. There's the grab right there. Almost CC'd him too soon right there. It's almost a mistake for Saybyeok right there to CC twice in a row on Poogie right there and allow him to actually get out of that position as Poogie continues to iframe back now. No iframe left on this Ranger. One mistake away from death on this one, as the Valkyrie right in front of him. He's going to take this 1v1. I'm not sure you want this on a Suck Valk versus an Awakening Ranger iframing that well like that. Meow in the middle, trying to keep himself healthy on that Shy, but is starting to take a decent amount of damage, which is not good for that Vagabondz team. Goes for the debuff on the Shy. That is going to be Misty Haze and Delusive Light. It looks like came out right there. Only tagged 1 or 2 opponents there though. Saybyeok's on the ground. Poogie's in a lot of trouble. No one's here to help him. Lethal spin spree is going to find him, and down he goes. Oh my goodness, this Saybyeok team is turning on the juice. Absolutely insane. And now it is a 2v3. The Vagabondz team's playing relatively slowly. This Mystic needs to find all the CC, all the damage, although if you're going to look for one class to do that, exactly that, it's going to be a Suck Mystic. Wolf's Frenzy comes out, looks for any amount of CC. Ooh, block jump, iframes back to dodge it. The Celestial Spear comes down as well. Not going to find him either. Looks like the evasion on this Mystic really doing a lot to help him. Meow doing his best on this Shy to keep this Mystic all the way buffed up right now, as we have 20 seconds on the clock. Oh, there's the grab on a Buff Orange down. Oh my goodness, it looks like Saybyeok is definitely going to clinch it with that grab right there into this third round. Sonaring on the hunt for Buff Orange right there. Saybyeok in the middle of the arena goes to the Wolf's Friendly, close to him, gets the grab. No, gets grabbed by Sonaring, who's right there. Mio tries to save it, but it's just out of time. And it looks like Saybyeok gonna come up and bring this back to 1.
Sonaring playing on the edges in the 2v3 situations, just waiting until they are absolutely needed, is very, very vital. If they were just sitting there and got CC'd when Orange got that grab, that could have been it for their side. They could have had a couple deaths there, and they're just playing really, really smart into that Vagabondz team by just looking for that Ranger. They know that he's going to be squishy, that even if he stays in SA, they can just run him down, and it's going to be really, really rough for that Ranger.
Yeah, this is the very first round of the round of 16 in the bottom bracket of this tournament here. We are gates up, and away we go. Potentially match point here for Saybyeok. Vagabondz got to bring it back in this round here. Soul Basher on that Mystic and permanently rotate that SA. Oh my goodness, going in very aggressively with those Shy buffs. Emboldened, if you will. Poogie kiting around again on that Ranger, doing his best to play the outside of the fight here. Buff Orange staying in the middle of everything, trying to use Thunder Pound, trying to catch Sona. Sona just runs away and says, no, you can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. Oh my goodness, risky Thunder Pound there. It's only a frontal guard, and Sona was behind him there. The Shy Bongos in the middle of the arena catch Saybyeok, but oh, they barely do manage to follow it up, but Saybyeok does get back to his feet. It's just too little too late right there for the Valkyrie. It's just too tanky. Meow on the ground as well on that Shy, but again, the Shy is wearing a full DP set, man. You're not going to be able to kill him very much. You have to get the CC onto Poogie. In this one. Buff Orange in the middle of the arena, kiting around, looks for the grab. Oh, lots of second grade mob ball soccer going down in the middle. Buff Orange gets CC'd next to Meow, but in evasion we trust. They both hold hands and stand right back up as if nothing had ever happened to them. It is still a 3v3. No one really taking any damage. Evasion looking very powerful in this matchup, as when nobody has accuracy, everyone has evasion. Thunder Pound looks like it's gonna go ahead and catch B right there. That's a really good catch onto the Kuno. No follow-up down. Oh my goodness. B did end up going down to the Ranger. The Ranger does have the accuracy to finish the job. Poogie putting down the damage right there. Buff Orange finding another catch onto Sona right here and absolutely working him on the backside of this. Has him into the corner and Buff Orange says, come back. Where are you going? Thunder Pound going down as well. And into Soul Basher. Mass Destruction absolutely playing out of his mind on this Mystic. Look how quickly he can play with those shy buffs. Sarek very low right now, throwing a little bit of damage onto him. Meow getting low. Everyone's health ticking down. Bleeds are ticking as well, but everyone seems to manage to have gotten out. And it looks like the Meow's team, this shy team, actually so much more resilient with the shy heals on them. It looks like they lost another one. Sarek went down, and now it's just Sonaring against the world. He does find Orange right there and goes for the tailspin. He's actually working the three of them right now, but has to disengage on the backside of this with a V. Gets caught out, and poor Saybyeok is going to have to go to round 5 of this one, it looks like, as Sona, I don't believe, is going to be able to 1v3 as good as he is. Does find the CC on the Meow. There's the damage from the Mystic. Absolutely insane match. 2-2 in the very first round of our best of 16, Johnny.
It definitely looks like what it's going to be. If Poogie can stay alive just long enough, I think Buff Orange and the Shy are going to be able to chase somebody down and eventually kill them by a death to 1,000 cuts. It's a big thing, too, of if Sona wants to win a 1v2 or a 1v3 or whatever it may be, you just run out that class. Awakening Lawn's biggest issue is that it does have a little bit of asthma, so if you just keep chasing it down, the stamina is rough on it. And then into the Kuno or the Valkyrie, those are classes that Orange could really put a lot of pressure on if they want to get close. So they got to kill the Ranger. They got to do it quick.
Yeah, absolutely. We're coming into this final round here, and neither team wants to give an inch. Both playing very slowly at the start here. B just choosing to disengage, although all of the focus is on him. Uses the block jump to disengage it very well. The Shy Bongos don't actually catch him there as he very gracefully disengages that fight right there. Sona swoops over the top of everyone, but B gets CC'd. It has to be immediately, and Poogie is on top of everyone. Look how ferocious he is being on top of Sona right there, who barely gets his V off as well. Amazing Awakening Ranger play by Poogie here to capitalize. Oh my goodness. Whoa, B actually found him on the backside of it, but wasn't able to follow it up, and they lost Sonaring as he got finally run down there. Poogie did not get the follow-up CC right there onto Poogie from B, which is absolutely tragic. Sarek's on the ground now, taking a lot of damage on that Valkyrie, but it's just not going to be enough. B is very low. No V on him right there. Poogie finishes the job. It looks like this Vagabondz team might just go the distance in this main outfit for Poogie. Oh my goodness, Saybyeok is gonna go down, and that is gonna be all she wrote for that team there, Johnny. Holy moly.
Very unfortunate for the Saybyeok team. B had to have followed up on that CC. I think that was about their chance. They had the Ranger alone and CC'd, and if he did the follow-up, at the minimum, he gets them to V. Kuno is a very good class that can follow up on the Vs and sniff them out. They got Tendon Cutter and a bunch of other skills to get the initial CCs or re-CC. If he's got the gear to match, and against Awakened Ranger, which isn't a very tanky class, he should be able to just blow him up. So trading for Sonaring wouldn't be the worst instance there. There's no damage left on the Vagabondz team if they would have been able to do that. And so it was really unfortunate for them to let the Ranger go.
Okay, so for my moderators, could you not accept the match before it's even over? One of my moderators completed the prediction before we were even on the third round of that match. So, like, please, guys, I love that you started the predictions, but for the love of God, wait until the match is over before you finish the prediction. Oh my God, you just scammed everyone out of their points. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I don't know what I expected. These are the same people that I get rated by somebody named Nikki, and they shout out Nipley. I honestly don't exactly know what I expected out of these people. That being said, that match was absolutely spectacular. It was good fights to both sides. I do think that Saybyeok played really, really well. Overall, I was surprised to see them get knocked out like that, but honestly, they took it all the way to 5 rounds. man. They took it all the way to 5 rounds. Do you think that Vagabondz might be one of the favorites to like they went in? They're in the best of 8 or the round of 8 now. Do you think that they might be one of the favorites here?
My prediction is that they get knocked out in round 30 to Salve. That is my prediction. That's a very long ways future, but I think they get knocked out to Salve in the next round.
Oh, well, spoiler alert from this guy right here. Okay, so moving right along to the next match here, we actually have my boys over in Reforged, Team 1 versus SalveLucrum. SalveLucrum, of course, Meth, Pig, Veti, and Black Luna. These are probably the favorites to win the tournament overall based on their gear and composition, I would say. And what I have asked the other teams, they said they're most scared of this team here. But Reforged Team 1, no slouch here. You got Lefonda on the Corsair, MVI on that Sage, and very likely Death Grip on that Dark Knight, bringing that DPS. So, Johnny, you just said you think that Reforged is just going to take this L here?
The DK might help a bit. They're going to have the high accuracy. Sage is going to be able to deal with the evasion really, really well. Lefonda, I don't know how much he's going to be able to help into that Musa Striker Shy team. They might be able to do a little bit of pressure on them, but I think that the DK and the Sage are going to have a really, really rough time against the Musa and the Striker. Because I think what it's going to be is that the Musa and the Striker, they could either run down the Sage or run down the DK and just blow them up super, super quick, especially that DK. If that Musa is geared enough, Meth is going to be able to do one Pyro Storm, I believe it's renamed to, from below the belt and just end that man's career as a DK player.
Who is SalveLucrum? These players were very formerly in Cho Nation and are representing Salve in the Best in Guild tournament here. You have the Reforged players with a mountain to climb here. Definitely the underdogs. The guild that has no gear score requirement or PvP trial, looking to try to get into the round of 8 here. Lefonda diving right in on that Corsair right there. Pig battling back, looking forward. Lefonda honestly can just jump around doing whatever he wants. I'm not sure that they have the damage to actually kill him in one combo. A Death Grip playing very slowly, just like he did in the first round. Lefonda trying to stay on top of Meth right there and land a slow of any kind as they kite around here. Pig literally just running after people on the Striker without wasting any sort of stamina at all. Lefonda takes a lot of damage, has to V. MV had to V as well as he took a grab from Pig. Pig scouts the grab. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
All right. Scouts the grab. It did not look super good. Sweet. Amazing. Awesome. Incredible. Amazing. Awesome sauce. So glad. So glad.
There are no bugs in BDO.
Yep. That's okay. It was only literally my guild that was fighting. That's all right. I didn't need to know. I didn't need to know what happened. Thank you.
PA is just trying to cover your eyes, divert you away from the car crash. They don't want to see what Reforged's about to do to Salve.
I know. Like, it literally, we cut the tape right as the V was being sniffed.
It's like waking up from a dream right before you hit the ground, kind of a situation. They're like, all right, out of here.
It's so brutal. I can't even get back in until the match ends. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up. Hold up. Let me cook. Here we go. There we go. Oh, that's not the right match. Let's see if Armin's watching it. Nope, they're all watching the first bracket. This is tragic. What's Divios watching? Oh, thank God. We're good. We're back in it, boys. We're back in it, boys. Okay. All right. Divios literally watching in 360p. His settings are a little different than mine. All right. It looks like Salve did take round 1 there. It didn't look super good for Reforged on the back foot of that one. Lefonda doing his best to iframe around right here again, trying to disrupt as much as he can. Oh, excellent. There's no buffs in the AoA at all. Death Grip gets CC'd. Oh, no. Oh, it has to be out of that one real quick. MV diving in to try to help him. It would be great if we could see Divios turn the camera. There we go. Tries to dive right back in to help his teammates. Getting very low is MVI. Looks like CP hasn't taken any damage quite yet at all, and neither has Meth, as that gear check coming in hot for this SalveLucrum team here, doing a lot of work here. Oh my gosh, Lunacy did 2% of his health bar. That is not very good. That is not very good. Death Grip doing his best to kite around on this DK. That is what DK is very good for, is trying to find the damage. They have to try to get some debuffs down here as he goes in for airstrike. Doesn't find anything. Looks like he might be out of stamina as he's desperately trying to get in. Tries to kill Veti. Finds the CC. Not enough accuracy to do the job. Pig is very low. Leifonda's down at half health, but he's really tanky. Actually trading really well is this Reforged team into this second round here. Oh, except for Envy. Envy just got one shot right there. Absolutely tragic. Death Grip gonna go down as well. This is not looking very good for this Reforged team here. Leifonda doing what he can into the 1v3 here, trying to waste any sort of cooldowns that he can. Absolutely tragic.
That's got to feel real bad for Death Grips, just throwing every single ability he has into that fight, just the entire kitchen sink, and just watching Pig's health go down by maybe 1% at most.
Yeah, it's a little rough. That's a little rough. Pig down at 50%. Health bars are locked at 50 now, so that's something. It's the Shies buffing them up that's really helping them out a tremendous amount here. It's very difficult to get anything done when you have Delusive Light all over you. Leifonda looks like an unkillable machine though, as he is eventually going to get run down, and it looks like Salve is going to go up 2-0 in this round, or in this tournament here.
2 evasion boys still trying to hit Leifonda and able to kill him as fast as they do is terrifying to think about. Just how lacking of accuracy I imagine they must be, still destroying Leifonda, who should be very tanky, is brutal.
Yeah, absolutely tragic. I think they thought they maybe had enough accuracy between a Sage and a Dark Knight. They have the best accuracy modifiers in the game. They're wearing accuracy accessories, but it's just not enough. With the shy buffs on that striker, it looks terrifying. To be honest with you, that might be the team that goes the distance. Pig jumping right in, looking for any sort of CC he can, trying to ignore Leifonda to the best of his ability and try to run down that Sage. MVI definitely the target here, as he's the easiest to lock down on that Sage. He's done an excellent job of trying to stay away from his opponents, but there's only so long that you can really kite around for on that Succession Sage in order to get anything actually done. You'll notice Pig's and Meph's health bars just are not moving at all. No matter how much damage is thrown their way, their health bars are just not moving. In evasion, we trust against the 2 best accuracy classes in the game, equipped with accuracy accessories. Very tough matchup to play against here, as Leifonda starts to take health here, or starts to take damage here. Pig tries to go in on Envy, but Envy, again, very expertly sidestepping that, as they are trying to do the best they can. They're trying to let health tick down at this point, which is very smart, so that they only have to do half of someone's health bar. It's less intimidating to have to do half of someone's health bar than their whole health bar. So really, all they're trying to do here is buy time. Envy gets grabbed, taking a lot of damage, but does get up without having to use his V, which is very critical. Pig literally just running around like a primate, trying to find any sort of grab, because that is what Striker is capable of doing. Very low APM, low effort. Running around looking for any sort of CC that he can find. Doesn't even have to try to keep protected on this class. Yeah, just diving through everything. Death Grip gets one skilled on the Dark Knight. They tried to play it as well as they could, but now with only MV left alive here, there's the grab coming through. MV does get his V off right there, and Leifonda doing his best to run disruption on this, but there's just not enough damage here, even with the Dark Knight. It's just absolutely tragic. Down goes MVI. Leifonda, the last one standing for this Reforged squad. You just hate to see it. Absolutely tragic on that Succession Corsair, kiting around. Health bars are locked at 50%, and when I say they're locked at 50%, I mean they're not falling below 50% for Pig, Meth, and their shy friend here. as Lefonda does his best to kind of kite around and tries to run out the clock. He simply doesn't have he simply does not have the damage to finish the three of them. So, but honestly, doing an exceptional job of staying alive. You can see how resilient a Succession Corsair really can be in a composition like this. Finally does get grabbed. There's the V right there coming through. Just absolutely rough. There's Lefonda coming out of V right there. The damage coming through. He is on the ground. It looks like he's going to stand back up. He's at 1%. Salve is going to take it. Show Nation, Team 3, going to go ahead and take that match away from Reforged. You hate to see it, boys. You absolutely hate to see that.
Pig just absolutely sprinting all over the battlefield. Looks like an NFL linebacker with a shy buff concoction of steroids, amphetamines, and God knows what else. Just not letting anyone play the game. It's disgusting, especially if he has that class buff. Perma SA while just literally walking at you very menacingly. And you're like, okay, well, I guess maybe I'll just grab him or CC him. And then he stands right back up with 98% of his health pool and just stares at you again like, it's my turn. So, that is definitely not somebody I would want to fight.
Absolutely tragic. Yeah, I mean, it's just difficult to deal with something like that. When you get in, it can be very demoralizing. To like start hitting your opponent as some of the best accuracy modifying classes in the game and just do no damage.
None,
right? It's
none
just
at all.
Absolutely none. I mean, I think that's telling for what the rest of this tournament might look like here. As we move forward, it was good fights to the Reforged team. I think that they played really well there. I think they put up the best fight that they possibly could into that team. But now it is time for our next match, which looks like is going to be Ventus Team 1 versus, is it Healing Team 2? It is Healing Team 2. As we go into this, yeah, so what are you thinking here, Johnny? How do you feel? How do you feel about this? Is the Cossini team?
The Cossini team?
Yeah, okay. This is the Cossini team.
What was the healing team for this one?
I'm gonna flip it over now. Here we got the versus screen right here. We got Ventus is Cossini, Kairos on the Dracania, Kashira on the Shy, Flatlined on the Warrior. Healing Team 2 is Vindictus Heroes on the Berserker, Hunger Bull on the Musa, Phantom Assassin on the Wusa, and Moody on the Mewa. I'll be honest with you, Healing didn't face a crazy challenge in the first round there, so we didn't really get to see what they were capable of as a team, but we did get to see the Ventus team. So how do you feel this is going to go?
I think it might be if I remember correctly, this Healing Team 2 was very, very, very geared. And this is a team that's going to want to bring you into the Thunderdome with the Wusa Clouds. The Zerker is going to be very, very oppressive with the grabs. The Moose is just going to be constantly pumping out damage or chasing somebody down. Cossini is awakening, so it might help the fact that he doesn't have to kite the Musa or the Zerker the entire time. The Dracania is going to have a lot of damage. The Shy is going to give him the buffs. Some of the Awakening Wizard kit is forward guard, if I remember correctly, and that can get punished very, very, very easily by the Wusa, or the Musa itself too. I would give this to the Healing team. You have the Wizard and the Shy, which are both very disgusting utility classes. A lot of buffs and debuffs from both sides, and heals, of course. But something about Wusa, Musa, and Zerker I think they just kind of go together very, very well to make an absolutely disgusting composition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think it's going to be a little rough on them, but we will see. I think that Ventus might just have this in the bag, but Healing, this is their opportunity to see that they are not just gear monkeys, that they can play the game very efficiently, and I know that they absolutely... Oh my god, look at that animation on that Wusa. That looks so cool. Oh my goodness, like a Pearl Shop promo over here. For this one, for Phantom Assassin on this Wusa. I'm interested to see how he plays around these thunderstorms here. As they start off, Cossini taking a lot of heat right at the start of this match, but manages to kind of kite back out of it. A good grab coming down from the Zerker, but the trade back in damage forces him to have to jump right back out of it. Man, Zerkers are learning today. You can't just run in and grab stuff and hope to not take any return damage. Phantom Assassin playing this very slowly. He's not actually setting up his thunderstorms, though, which I think is a very integral part of the class. There we go. Thunderstruck there there. He goes, throws out one thunderstorm, gets just a little bit in it, but not quite gonna find anything. Goes for the Stormfall, not gonna find anything there either. Cosini down at 20% on that Awakening Wizard, uses the mass teleport skill to actually get himself to safety right there. It's the only time he's gonna be able to use that in all all 5 matches potentially right there. Cosini taking a lot of damage, goes down immediately. Wait, no, he's at 4%. He's still alive. The man lives. He V'd out of it. No, he's gonna get caught underneath the overhang right there. He is going to go down. It does look like Ventus is down 2-3. Healing coming out and absolutely destroying this match so far. Cosini getting demolished right there, just sweeping the leg of the Awakening Wizard, just understanding that it might be Cosini, but if you take the nameplate away, Awakening Wizard has detriments. Oh, it looks like the Awakening Dracania taking a lot of damage now. Kashira, beautiful bongos in the middle of the arena, catching everything, but no follow-up to be had right there. Absolutely tragic. Plum coming out for the Wusa right there to try and activate the thunderstorms. Everyone just battling underneath this. It is cloudy right now. Waiting. Now's a good time to activate those thunderstorms. I'm not sure. There we go. And a little bit better late than never on those thunderstorms from the Wusa right here. There we go. Throwing down a little bit of damage. Health bars are locked at 50%. A beautiful knockup right there. He's going to go ahead and kill that Wusa. And Kairos doing a beautiful job for Ventus, battling back in the 3v2. Now it's a 2v2. Ventus with 40 seconds on the clock says we are not done. Dragon's Flight to close the distance. Moving around, trying to iframe his way around the edge of this fight. It can be very difficult to see what's going on your screen when you're right next to a wall like that. Beautiful grab, forces a V. Oh my gosh, it's Grabception though. His Vindictus hero gives him the chair, but no damage to be had though, as it's only a 2v2. And the Shy's like, I don't know what you want me to do here, man. The Kairos stands back up with no real problems right there as the fight resets. 9 seconds on the clock. Looks like they're gonna have more damage. Beautiful CC at the last moment. Hunger Bull on the ground. 2 seconds on the clock. There's the grab, but no damage out of the Zerker, and Ventus takes it on the trade into the final seconds. Absolutely insane first round of that match. Holy moly.
Oh my god, the comeback from Ventus in that match was absolutely fantastic. The Dracania, my god, he went into the zone that round. He said, I will not be put down. Yeah. I will avenge Cosini.
Flowers who? Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Flowers who? Yeah, we should let this guy make the guide instead. This man is a monster. This is definitely a name that if he's in more tournaments is gonna probably make a name for himself if he continues to play like that. Assuming the class doesn't get nerfed. But my god, is he just tearing up the field.
Yeah, beautiful. As gates up and away we go here. Healing now, understanding that just because they've got one down doesn't mean they can do much else. Oh my god, he missed the BSR funnel right there. Cosini getting the BSR funnel, using Hellfire to keep himself protected. There's Aqua Jail as well. Cosini very smartly standing still until the very last moment when he feels like he has to move. The Zerker has grabbed you. It is time to move. Natural selection has deemed it so. Cosini manages to scramble himself out of that situation, back to his feet, and begins trading back with all of those wonderful super armor skills that Awakening Wizard is known for. Kairos flying around with Dragon's Flight, looking for any sort of picks he can find out of V here. Not quite gonna find anything there as the fight resets a little bit here. Oh, another beautiful grab from the Zerker right there onto Cosini as he is on his back right there. Kairos trying to follow up and get in there to help him out there. Return damage coming in. The Shy with a beautiful bongo right there. Cosini at 20% HP, but Kairos doing what he can to trade back. Another grab from the Zerker, and Cosini says, please, somebody get this man's hands off me. Oh my goodness. Kairos doing his best to actually work his way through this fight. On this Awakening Dracania though, Cosini is still very, very low on health, has no Rabam heal, already used his heal, but Cosini does find the kill onto the Wusa. Another grab goes down, but the Wusa is dead. There's no damage here. Kairos stands right back up, and he is going to trade back Cosini in the middle of everything. Another beautiful trade back on for the Ventus team to get grabbed, turn it right back around on them. This Zerker lands grabbed after grab after grab and just can't find the damage. That Wusa nowhere nowhere to be found until he's dead, very tragically. Trying to play slowly. That's probably why he was trying to play slowly in that first round, is he knows he's the target, he's the damage, he has to stay alive. Or you end up in a situation like this where Ventus is in a 3v2, health bars just tick down to 50%. Everyone can be killed in a moment's notice. Down goes the Zerker, just like that. And now it's a 1v3. Absolutely tragic. The Musa dashing around, doing what he can to trade back, but how do you trade into these three classes? That's the fun part. You don't. The Draconia pushing damage onto him. It's a 1v3, 36 seconds on the clock. So much for this round. This is going to be a rough round. This is Ventus taking round 2 almost certainly. 25 seconds left on the clock. All they need to do is stand here and wait for their BSRs to stack up. Wait for their cooldowns to come back. They're waiting for Cosini's mass teleport. But oh my goodness, the dive in right here might actually kill somebody. Nope, never. Well, gets him killed. Oh, he tried. He ended the match there. Ventus coming up with the 2-0 on this healing team. But healing not going down without a fight, Johnny.
Cosini 2 rounds in a row getting to sub 5%, maybe even sub 3%, and deciding to live either way. The first round still died after the other CC, but my God, is he just wanting to stay alive? And it feels like that there's some sort of hidden rage timer mechanic that as soon as he hits 5% HP, the Draconia gets a sudden buff of damage and grabs and everything else in the kit, because as soon as Cosini gets low, he just becomes enraged and just carries the field. Playing like an absolute monster this match.
Yeah, Cosini was so relaxed about this match that he actually came equipped with sandals on his character here. Just didn't feel like he needed the footwear. He's not going anywhere anyway. In fairness, the Zerker's just been throwing him back and forth across the arena, but it really hasn't mattered much. Ooh, that wizard class buff coming out, buffing all of his allies with all that extra AP there. Good movement here by Cosini, keeping himself relatively in the middle, but safe from grabs. Good. Nice meteor coming down there. Not going to actually find anything, though. There's the Cataclysm into Bolide. There we are. Not going to find anything there either, but Mouse moving his teleport the whole way out. Oh my goodness. Hellfire did not get CC'd out of Hellfire. I thought for sure he was going to get grabbed there, but no. Kairos on the ground does get back to his feet, though. Big damage trade right back onto Int out. That is the Musa trying to scramble out of that. So is the Zerker now as well, running for his life. The Ventus team will not let up on the gas pedal in this fight. Absolutely insane. It looks like they might just take this 1, 2, 3 in this round of 16 right here. Bolide coming down for Cosini, trading back. Hunderbull on the ground, gonna go down as well. Oh my goodness, the Wusa playing defensively the whole match, the only one left alive. And this Ventus team is going to the round of 8. This Ventus team might just go to the finals. Oh my goodness, God. What a match. Johnny, what? I mean, like, I thought the healing would at least come in and take a match or two off of him. I think they'd come and take a match or two, right? Like,
the gear can carry you. It can, right? We saw in some of the previous matches where if you're a little bit gear checked, sometimes you can't really play the game. But Ventus was so just relenting against the healing team that Zerker was trying to run away and was just permanently getting hit stun by the bubble, by Draconia skills. Just not able to play or run away or do anything. Just, God, it was disgusting. And then, of course, the Draconia playing absolutely fantastic, not allowing the Wusa to just free cast and do a lot of its damage skills like it wants to. Every time he was trying, just putting him on the floor with a nice, easy grab. Just every single time. Just gripping him, putting him on the floor, and just putting him in his place, saying, "You will not hurt my Cosini. He is mine, not yours. Get away from him."
Yeah, I mean, we do have an instant replay for that last match there, into the final moments there, where they actually did manage to find the last pick of the final round there. So you can see Cosini doing a lot of damage, the Zerker scrambling away, and they're just running them down relentlessly in this match. That Ventus team just playing together so well, and then they clean up the second one as well at the end of that clip. Just absolutely insanely good play coming out for that Ventus team there. We do have another match coming up here, and it looks like there's always a bigger fish. There is always a bigger fish. So although healing got to swallow GayAgenda in the first rounds, Now so healing may get swallowed by both Ventus teams. There is always a bigger fish. Ventus might just go 2 teams into the round of 8 and almost guarantee themselves a run into the finals. Actually insane. So healing, we have Butt on the Sage, Sony on the Warrior. Remember, he did win the best in class. That is by Septimus Prime, everybody's favorite streamer there. Plaything on the Wusa, and No Gamble, No Loss, I don't believe was subbed in for this match. But we have Ventus with Greeds on the Ranger, Patchies on the Sork, and Shag Nasty on that Warrior. All right, buddy. What do you think, Johnny?
I think the Warrior can get really, really suppressed by the Ranger. They're going to have a really good matchup into the Sork. And of course, a Warrior v Warrior matchup is just going to be an instance of who's the better Warrior. Wusa into this matchup might get punished a little bit, but I think the Sage and the Wusa oppression, as long as Sony is playing aggressive, is, I think, I don't know. This is a tough one. I think, Warrior, I don't know. This is tough. Did you say No Gamble's getting put in for someone though?
I don't believe so. I don't see him being subbed. Oh no Gamble is getting put in. I'm not sure who for though. It looks like I see Sony. I do not see Butt here. So I believe that they're gonna take out the Sage.
Okay. Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, it's an interesting
I don't
choice.
remember if Butt wasn't the Awakening Sage in the tournament, right? I believe that was somebody else.
No, he got vaporized. No, he was Succession.
He got vaporized. Okay. I don't know. Oh yeah, Patchies is a Succession Sork. I forget about that. Thank you, chat, for doing the copy pasta spam to remind me. Succession Sork, I think, is going to be the weak link on the Ventus team. I think it is. I mean, you got Black Wave and you got DOD and stuff like that, but it's a lot of forward guards. It's a lot of forward guards in this arena, and you're going to get really, really suppressed by some of the classes on Healing's team.
Yeah, I think that they might struggle just a little bit. I mean, like, it does help you trade against super armor heavy classes, and you do still have all of the iframes, so, like, I would expect him to be at full health until he's not, if you catch my drift. Is one of those situations. So Sork, though, can pump out just as much damage as the Awakening counterpart. It's just that when you come out of those iframes, typically you're going to be moving into a frontal guard instead of a super armor, which leaves you vulnerable from behind. But of course, you are shielding all of that damage from the front instead of absorbing it. It is gates up, and away we go as this Ventus team trying to make this a clean sweep into the round of 8. Oh my goodness, but Patchies is on the ground taking a lot of damage. Bell has to V immediately. Oh my gosh, the Sork. We just finished hyping up the Sork, and then he immediately has to V in the first 8 seconds. Caster Curse. Cody going in, gets CC'd as well. Oh, this Ventus team is all over the place at the start here on gates up, and they are trading. They need to get their bearings on them. Shag Nasty is now on his back as it is his turn. He does scramble back to his feet, so he's at 20% HP. Cody trading back, though, on that Striker. He's got a lot of evasion, very tanky. Shag Nasty getting very low, though. Trading with that Wusa, not very well. The Warrior Spear coming in, lots of damage going down, forcing the V right there out of there. Sony on that Warrior, finding the beautiful Warrior Spear there. Oh, trading into Shag Nasty. Warrior running him down. It's Warrior on Warrior action as Sony tries to get in there, but he gets CC'd himself, and now he's doing a lot of damage. Tries to go for any amount of super armor traded damage. Shag Nasty just spends the entire match on his back here, down at 10%. He's just trying to stand and block to keep himself alive to the best of his ability. Plaything gets very low and has to V. Shag Nasty kiting back, trying to run for his life. Warrior has excellent movement like that and can get out of tough situations like this, but he keeps himself in the middle of everything. I'm not sure that's the play, as he's down at 200 HP. The bleed is ticking. I'm not sure he's gonna be able to stay alive. No, he does go down, and now it's a 2v3. Cody is going, please, buddy, you have to pull up. You can't do your best impression of Porkins in A New Hope, man. You gotta pull up from that fight. Patchies is gonna go down too, and now it's just Cody left alive. Absolutely tragic for this Ventus team. I feel like he just stayed, they got off on the wrong foot right away. I think that if they don't get CC'd right out of the gate, Johnny, I think that they might have this. There's the grab finishing off the final round. What do you think?
Just actually diving in and then just doing the big SA trades or the big ability trades between each other. Healing did did come out on top quite despairingly. It was rough, especially for the warrior. If you don't have the gear score to match, especially a lot of DR or DP, your Q block is not nearly as tanky as some other classes in the awakening stance. So he's just going to get eviscerated in a lot of these scenarios. He's gotta play more aggressive. I think he has to go for something quick.
Sony's got that Arena of Arsha weapon. One of the only people on the whole server, I think of one of two people on the server to actually have the Awakening Arena of Arsha weapon, showing that he has won a sponsored Pearl Abyss tournament for the best in class warrior, and showing in that first round why he has this weapon. As he approaches very menacingly, throws a spear onto Shag Nasty, goes right in with Solar Flare, not able to find anything though. Slashing of the Dead does trade very well there, and oh my goodness, it's just a straight gear check, and Plaything is not enjoying that at all. Shag Nasty again standing in the middle of everything. I'm not sure that's exactly where the warrior necessarily wants to be. Sony playing this positionally a little bit stronger for sure, as he keeps his health pool alive and waits for his moment to engage. You play more as a flanking assassin, just like that. Clean grab, double CC. Sony goes huge on the backside of that. Excellent play to turn that momentum of that fight right there. Now that he gets double CC'd, Plaything and Sony on the ground, but they stand right back up. No follow-up damage because of Sony's earlier play. They were both in V. Oh, Shag Nasty on the ground. Sony moves in for the pounce. Slashing of the Dead. Down he goes. Sony finishing the job, showing why he is the dominant warrior in this matchup right here. Plaything getting very low. Has to back off right here. It is a 3v2. Healing looking very strong here. Going for that warrior spear. Oh my goodness. Walking back, looking for the block. Beautiful grab by Sony. Says, get out of my face. You don't have the hands, kid. I was playing this game long before you were. Beautiful grab by Sony to trade it back right there. And absolutely, there's Gravedigger to buy himself some time. Gets CC'd on the backside, but again, there's that Suck Sork. Patchy's getting CC'd out of that frontal guard. Absolutely tragic. Exactly what we were talking about, is you have to use frontal guards in order to drop your damage on that Succession Sork, and that is exactly what happens. Sony absolutely showing up for his team in this Best in Guild tournament.
Sony, instead of playing the super hyper aggressive warriors like we tend to see, is playing a little bit more situational or sitting, or he's just waiting for that opportune time. And he did really, really well where he just went in, got the grab, and then immediately got the double KD. I couldn't quite tell whether it was reckless or a pulverized core, but he's disgusting with it, allowing his team to just dump a lot of damage. And even when they got the double CC back, the enemy team was so low or V'd or gone out of the situation that they weren't able to do any damage to follow up on that double CC. And it's situations like that, those little instances of playmaking, that really can make it for your team.
Yeah, I think the reserved warrior is definitely the play here. Goes in, Shag Nasty already CC'd, but scrambles back to his feet. Sony trying to capitalize on it, looking to sweep the leg. Poor Shag on the ground, taking a full combo in the face from Sony. Does get his V off, and Sony standing on top of yet another Ventus member. Looking for Shag again, throws the warrior spear, doesn't find it, goes for the solar flare. Not going to find that quite either. Regroups with his team. Beautiful play. Once again, finds the double CC. Is Sony. Gets grabbed himself, but fortunately he has enough gear that he just stands right back up. Shag Nasty takes a bad trade on the backside of that one. Almost just a bait to go in there, but Shag learning to run here. Sony says, where are you going? As Shag has to turn and fight. He cannot outrun someone on his own class there. Oh my goodness, turning it back around. Sony has to be, and now he's the one on the back foot. Shag battling back right there. Sony trying to jump back into this fight with that warrior sustain here, playing very slowly, waiting for his opportunity to come in from the side here. There it is right there, finding Shag Nasty. Beautiful patience by Sony right there. Absolutely crazy to wait until he comes out of V. Have the patience to wait. I know it can seem like you need to get in and help your team again, but he waited for just the right moment and finds the damage onto Shag. Down he goes. It looks like this Ventus team might just get 1-2-3'd, and Ventus thought that they were going to have to fight someone other than healing in this tournament. Little did they know. No gamble, no loss. Taking a lot of damage though on the backside of this. Does V to get himself out. Plaything on the ground now as well. It looked, no, now it's a 2v2. I spoke too soon. Sony's gonna go down as well. What is going on with this Ventus team? Cody just woke up and ate them. Oh my goodness. Patchies comes out of V and the Ventus team battles back. What am I watching right now? Ventus was with an absolutely crazy turnaround on the backside of this. Only one healing member left alive, and it's the Hash. All they need to do is stay alive. They just separate themselves just a little bit and they stay alive. Now, this Sork does have to use frontal guard, so that is exactly where no gamble, no loss is going to be looking for. Cody's on the ground. Oh my goodness, Patchy's taking a lot of damage too. Good play from this Hash right here. Oh no, he got grabbed. Oh, there's the damage coming through right there. Cody standing right back up, taking too much damage on the trade right here. It looked like Healing had this match. Ventus in a 2v3 coming back to take this win is absolutely insane. No gamble, no loss, will go down. Ventus says, no, we will play each other in the finals. You just wait. You just wait. Healing. Oh boy, that's kind of scary when you lose a round like that one, Johnny.
It's definitely going to be a little bit of a morale boost for the Ventus team to have that kind of a situation. If we will not go down without fighting, winning the quick 2v3, doing the double trade, definitely one of those situations where if you blink, it happened, it's done. Where'd they go? And so it's one of those quick things of a match is never over until it's just over. This isn't the first time that a 2v3 has been won by the two sides. So
right.
I think we'll see a lot more of those. People got to play smart.
Sony getting funneled BSR here, which means he has, he throws out the big warrior buff right there for his allies, but I'm not sure no gamble, no loss. They actually got it. Squaring off against Shag Nasty here. Again, Shag Nasty in choosing to engage right away, whereas Sony playing a more defensive, reactionary, I'm going to flank style warrior that has been successful so far, except in that last round where it was working until quite frankly it wasn't. Shag Nasty right in the middle of everything. Sony trading very well with him, backing up, trying to get out of there. Sony gets stiffened, trades with slashing, turning it back around on itself. The fight resets a little bit. Everyone's still relatively at full health. Patchy's on the ground, taking a lot of damage. Down goes Patchy. Sony grabs yet another person. Cody's on the ground too. Says, no, this is still our match right here. Oh my goodness, what an explosive round. This is Cody down at 40%. But Ventus, even though they have two, they've shown us that they can win rounds in multiple different teams with only two people in a 3v2. Shag Nasty on the ground though, that's not what you want to see. Down at 10% health. Trying to back up, doing his best. I'm not sure why he doesn't choose to disengage here. Sony can just sit here and trade with him all day. There he goes. He tries to run away. Not quite far enough, though, as Sony is just all over him. Shag Nasty looks like on that Succession Warrior doing the best he can to trade in such close quarters, but it's just not enough. Running for his life. Sony says Awakening has better movement, and he has to V. Maybe that's why he's choosing not to run. Awakening Warrior just has the stronger movement. It's more versatile. The Swiss Army knife that is Sony on this Awakening Warrior is going to claim this round, it looks like. Beautiful grab. No, he gets knocked over. Shag Nasty's on the ground, though, too. And Sony has more gear. He gets right back up. Slashing of the dead. Shag down at 10%. 1%. Ventus's hopes are failing. Down at 1. Down he goes. Healing is going to take this round. Oh, my goodness, Johnny.
Succession Warrior just in the wall, just taking the beating.
Taking the L's.
Taking the L's. The DP buff that you get from hitting the shield over and over is not enough to keep you alive, especially when Sony has a little bit more DP, even just his own natural way. It's rough. Succession Warrior is definitely one of those classes I think needs a little bit of help from a balance standpoint. And then you have Succession Sork, which was buffed recently. I won't lie, I still think is just not it. Awakening Sork is just better in these small scale scenarios. It has a lot more protected things with SA. You can be, it has so much iframe spam that you can just get the abilities out that you need to. The Succession Sork, I think, like chat is spamming, and maybe a meme way is just not what I would have brought. Maybe a little bit of an exchange of players for that one, but
I'm not really sure that the Succession Sork was necessarily the weak part of their composition. I really did feel that the Warrior matchup was really what shined right there. And I think that choosing to stay in the middle of everyone, and like I think it's a lot. I think Shag chose to do that because Suck Warrior just can't run away as effectively as Awakening is going to be able to chase him. So he knew that the second that he tried to turn, that Sony would just run him down. And that's exactly what happened. And so like when he got low on health, he was forced to basically do his best to trade. And in fairness, he did do an amazing job trying to keep his allies behind him and his enemies in front of him. He stayed at low health for a super long time, played really, really well. But at the end of the day, Sony's versatility on the Awakening Warrior, I think, just wins out.
Yeah, it's definitely when the Warrior matchup, whether Shag is Awakening or Succession puts him in even more of a disadvantage. But Warriors, a lot of its movement being forward guard. When you chase it as another Warrior, you have a really, really big advantage because you're able to CC them as they try to run. So Sony playing that very reserved style and not having to dip out of fights, but going into them when it's his advantage or his opportune time, definitely I think gave him quite a bit of an edge, let alone the actual spec differences between the players. What is this is round 8, isn't it?
Yeah, no, this is the round of 8 here. And we are on the lower side of the bracket. I'm going to go over to the versus screen right now as I see them joining. We have SalveLucrum, which is of course that Cho Nation's B team down in the open tournament here, representing Salve versus this Vagabondz team. And I've never rooted for Vagabondz so hard in my life, Johnny.
In terms of rooting for, I'm ready for Vagabondz to take the W. In terms of realistic predictions, I'll keep a little quiet on that one. But it's definitely a thing of, if you look at the matchups initially, I think this is the first match where we've had a Shy on both sides, isn't it?
Yeah, this is the very first time we've seen Shy. And honestly, it goes to show you the Shy compositions go the distance, man.
It's the Shy composition is huge. I mean, there's been people who've been spamming I think it was Travesty that was spamming the list of everything Shy does for buffs and debuffs, and it's not a short list. There's a lot of attack speed, move speed, BSR, etc., health, and then the debuffs, of course, with like Misty Haze, lowering the evasion of the DR by 25%. Whew. That's a rough one, especially with the way that evasion and DR scales. That it's not just 25% more damage taken; it's even more than that. So it makes it especially rough when you get hit by that Misty Haze. Yeah, of course you have other things like Bubble, Bongo, and whatever else might be there. But it's definitely a class to have if you want to win in these tournaments.
Yeah, and it looks like, honestly, I think that Vagabondz might struggle a lot less against this team with the Shy to help them. They can use Misty Haze to their advantage so they're not fighting unkillable Cho Nation monsters, on the enemy team here with impossible amounts of evasion. I think if Mio, it's going to come down to how well Mio is able to debuff the enemies here. There's the Shy buffs going out for both teams here. Both teams a 2-threat composition. Mio's going to have to land a absolutely perfect Misty Haze in order to make this work. Mio's on the ground, but that's not that big of a deal. Gonna go ahead and get grabbed. Pig's now on the ground on the return fire. You see Pig's damage. Oh my goodness, Pig's taking a lot more health in this one. Mio goes for the debuff, does land the debuff onto the Cho Nation players. And beautifully, Pig moving into the middle of the arena. Buff Orange getting very low now. He is also debuffed as well as he kites away on that Mystic, getting very, very low. The Shies need to go ahead and get that heal down for his Mystic. Oh, there it is. Beautiful Shy buff getting him back up. And now the fight is going to reset a little bit. There's Pig getting CC'd right now, but that debuff is now gone. Buff Orange doing his best to CC and honestly try to do anything to this unstoppable wall that is Pig and Meth in this fight here. Buff Orange getting very aggressive again. Mio using his buffs but not actually catching any of his allies. Throwing out Eat This but not able to find anything on it. Poogie iframing forward trying to keep up with Buff Orange, who is leading the way here on this one. Pig trying to jump in and hit that Shy but taking a lot of damage on the trade right there. So is Buff Orange. Both sides just trading into their Shies, and then the Shies will heal them back up. Pig gets kicked over by the Shy. Oh my goodness, that's embarrassing. Stands right back up, drops the leg and gets his health back. Oh my goodness. Mio playing out of his mind on this Shy to make sure that his team is constantly buffed up, and then he lands these debuffs where he can. Probably gonna go for bongos right here. This is a good choice. Try to disengage the fight here. Poogie down at 50%, 40% HP and falling as the Ranger kites around. Beautiful bongos right there as they play around the middle of it. But Pig in a lot of super armor on that Awakening Striker just kind of moves straight through it without too much problems. Meph coming in to try to trade some damage down. We are below 1 minute on the timer, so everyone's health is now capped at 50%. On this one, going Mio trying to harass the other Shy a little bit there. I'm not sure if that is necessarily the play. Mio trying to get in range to buff up Poogie right there. Is going to go ahead and get it off. No one has taken any damage with 38 seconds left on the clock. Buff Orange gets really low. Poogie down at 10%. Vetti's on the ground as well, but not going to take anything because that's the Shy. Poogie running for his life. Meph in hot pursuit. Running for him like it's an F1 race. Max Verstappen running after Lewis Hamilton. And Lewis Hamilton going to take the L on that one as Poogie does eventually go down there. And it looks like that this SalveLucrum team is going to go ahead and take them out. 1, 2, 3. Vagabondz with an excellent round there, though. I think that they showed there, Johnny, that they can absolutely take this match if they play it correctly. That like they bleed. You remember in the Predator when they said if they bleed, we can kill them? That's the situation that we have going on in this one right here. So I do think that the Vagabondz really did show Salve that they are not immortal in this round. They actually have to play the game in order to actually win this one. So I think that that was very, very telling right there.
It's definitely going to be a thing that I think they're going to have windows of opportunity with either the Misty Haze or when the HP drops to 50%, where they can beat this Salve team. They can get some kills. The Awakening Ranger with Tree and other things should be able to get a kill if they can just dump all of their damage on a player. Awakening Ranger 2 is one of those classes that can re-CC people and just keep them on the floor permanently if they get the opportune time. It's going to be tough, but it's definitely possible, and I wish them the best in this next round.
Yeah, the gates are down, and so the match has begun here. Again, both teams trading. I think it's going to play out a lot in the same way with all the Shies having their cooldowns up. It's very difficult to get any kills on anybody. Meph going in for a big tray there, going for the Crush Crusher, not going to find any damage though. Again, you have to wait until health bars have been locked out a little bit more. Poogie iframing around, not really under any sort of pressure here, getting through. Oh no, Poogie takes the CC and has to be immediately. Thankfully for Vagabondz, he did get out of there, but Buff Orange also had to scramble down. Oh no, now they can just sniff all day long. There's Buff Orange, Meph closing the distance. Buff Orange does manage to get out of it. Vagabondz does scramble back to their feet and manages to right the ship on this one. Buff Orange getting very low. He needs a Shy heal. That's bongos. Oh no. Buff Orange getting so low, down at 10%. Please drop a heal, Mayo. There we go. A slight heal coming out. There's a Shy bubble. Beautiful Thunderdome coming out of Mio to save his team right there. Debuffs everyone around him. Resets the fight. Vagabondz absolutely out of their minds with the Shy play in this round right here. Holy moly. Way to right the ship right there. There we go with the rebuff for Meph right there. It's the both teams rear up to go in. Again, you can see Meph has his BSR ready as well. He can trade with it. Buff Orange, innovation we trust, scrambles back to his feet. Doing very, very well right now. Goes ahead and consumes the BSR on the Z buff and kiting around. Delusive Light comes down. Doesn't actually catch anyone on this SalveLucrum team though. As Meph dashes backwards. Oh my goodness, going in. Pig was on his back there for a moment, takes some damage, but stands right back up. Again, we're about to tick down to 50%, and although there's been a lot of action here in this match, this is where it's going. The boys become men, where the Shies become adults and actual human beings. In the final minute of this, where health bars are capped at 50%. Meph dives in, tries to tank a little bit of damage, trading back the super armor there. Pig getting down to 25% on the ground right now. No V. Taking a lot of damage. Good CC. No, the Shy just keeps healing him. He's so resilient with that Shy. 30% or 30 seconds on the clock as Meph continues to trade. Both teams still have 3 people, but Salve is actually losing the HP battle here. Meph very low. Pig very low. All they need to do. Oh no. Poogie Poogie went down once again. They trade their HP. Poogie goes down. 13 seconds on the clock. Vagabondz played so well all the way through the round. And it looks like it's going to go all the way down to the wire. For the Hot Boys here, Salve going to take it 2-0 so far. Vagabondz up against the wall, Johnny.
If you think that the gods could bleed in that first round, that was definitely, you said earlier with Predator, again this time with Leonidas with the spear and 300 just taking a good chunk out of them, and I would be a little bit spooked if I was Salve. They can do it. Poogie, if he didn't get CC'd right off the start there, able to have a V in pocket for later, might have been able to survive that and able to capitalize to either win from HP or maybe get a CC. It's one of the instances, especially when that HP gets to 50, that's when Salve is the most vulnerable. That's when you're going to be able to kill them.
Yeah,
and that's what we need to see from Vagabondz.
Yeah, I think that Poogie, like literally they were actually winning going into the final 20 seconds. They were going to win that round because they had way more HP than their opponents. And then Poogie very tragically got CC'd with no V available. And then that was it. But that's how close this fight is. On a razor's edge, Pig says, I've had it with this Mio guy. This guy's playing way too well. Throws him down and Mio says, oh, sweet butter pumpkin, you're embarrassing yourself. There we go. Stands right back up. Goes for the debuff. Lands it on everyone. Beautiful job. Saves Poogie's life. Poogie has to V. Meth sniffing for it, looking around, not gonna find it. Pig does find him out of V, but not actually going to get the CC down on him. Vagabondz actually traded really, really well with that debuff right there. Oh no, Poogie get run down. That's absolutely tragic. Vagabondz gonna take the L to Cho Nation's third team in this tournament, representing SalveLucrum. Vagabondz down 2-3 in their potentially their final round here. Poor Poogie got run down right there. Absolutely played out of their minds here. As Veta doing his best to run around and it's keep rough. Everybody buffed up. Yeah, Buff Orge just not able to find the damage that he needs. He needs all three of his team members. He needed to wait until HP got lower. Like, they're doing their best. HP is starting to tick down. There's the grab on a Buff Orange. He's going to get buffed right back, or he's going to get healed right back up probably by Mio. He stands up. There's the heal back up. Wolf's Frenzy keeps him alive. Now they're standing in Shy Bongos. Mio kites right out of that one. And continues kiting around. Buff Orange doing everything he can on this Mystic to try to make something happen. Beautiful Shy Buffs again right there. That wonderful Magnus skill doing absolutely wonders for Buff Orange, keeping him alive, keeping him being that frontline tank that he absolutely needs right there. Looks like Buff Orange down at 10%, does have to V right there into the final 50 seconds of this one. Mio is not going to be able to save him. The sniff does come down. Mio is going to go it looks like Orange is going to go down, and now Mio, the last one left alive, and Vagabondz is going to lose out to SalveLucrum in the round of 8 in the open bracket of this tournament. 30 seconds left on the clock, barring a miracle of God, and Mio in a 1v3. I believe that this one is just, look how little damage. Man, this guy's kind of a monster, bro. He could go get a cup of coffee right now. They still wouldn't be able to kill him. This is crazy.
Going to be an instance of the last tournament with Icy where Cho Nation afterwards like, hey, you want to come over here? Come on. You like that? Mio's playing out of his mind for a Shy.
Actually playing out of his. There's the play dead to make sure he makes it all the way to the end right there. Absolutely wonderful job out of Vagabondz. SalveLucrum gonna go ahead and move on to the semifinals of the open bracket there. Yeah, they're the favorites to win the tournament. They come from the best guild in the world, so it's a little difficult. It's a little difficult to play against them. You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Johnny?
Those are guys who have been gearing and playing for years. They know what's up. They know what to do, and they've been playing together for no one knows how long. But it's definitely an instance of when they come to play, they don't mess around. And Vagabondz putting one heck of a fight up against it. Mio playing out of his mind. Buff Orange constantly going around trying to get CCs. It's going to be really rough if the Ranger dies, though. And the Salve knew, just focus the Ranger, chase him down, run him down, don't let him play. Because he's the only threat. He's the real threat. The other two are just CC buff bots. And if the damage can't play, then it's an easy win. After that, Salve just has to just whittle out the other two, and it's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
Still a very good performance, though, from
yeah,
Vagabondz.
Tragic. Absolutely tragic. But yeah, Vagabondz, I think, played super, super well there. SalveLucrum moving forward to the semifinals of the tournament. Our next match is actually going to be the Ventus versus Healing matchup. Again, I know what you're thinking. We've had Ventus versus Healing at home. We've already had this before. But this is the only matchup that we haven't seen yet is Ventus Team 1 versus Healing Team 1. Both of their Team 2s were knocked out by the other's respective Team 1s. And now it's may the best team win. Johnny, who do you think takes this?
Ooh, all right. So we have Ventus Team 1 is going to be Cosini, probably one of the best, if not the best, Awakening Wizard and NA. Cairo playing like a monster on the Awakened Draconia. Cash on the Shy, providing the buffs, debuffs, and everything else that a Shy can to pump out. Gamble No Loss on the Hash, Plaything on Wusa, and Sony on Warrior, if I remember correctly. I don't know. Healing is going to have a little bit of a gear advantage. Knowing both teams, I think Ventus has a very good shot of winning this, though. I think they have a very, very good shot of winning this. The last time that Cairo saw Wusa, he tore him to shreds. So I think he's going to probably play very similarly, where he just doesn't let the Wusa do anything. He's going to do really well into Sony's Warrior as well. He's going to really be able to punish anything that he does. In the Wizard as well, probably going to be the primary target, I suspect, of Healing, where they're going to try to run him down, and the Warrior's trying to get some grabs or whatever it may be. But who knows? We'll find out here. Maybe they sub in Flatlined. Flatline's asking in chat. He wants to chin check Septimus. He wants to let me in.
He wants it. I don't think they're going to let him in, though. I think this is for all the marbles. He wants the
smoke, and they won't let him have it.
Yeah, I think this is for all the marbles, and they are not going to let him have the smoke on this one. All right. Looks like the teams are in the arena here. Honestly, I'm curious to see who wins this. Sony has been playing better in this tournament than I think I've seen him play in any tournament. Now, obviously, he won the best in class tournament, but I've seen, like, it's so much more impressive when you do it with a team. You know what I mean? So, like, this Healing team actually does have, like, a lot going for them. They have the Hashashin. And then Sony's been playing out of his mind as well. The Hashashin can play forward, and then Plaything on that Wusa to kind of jump in and get some more damage down. The question is, I think that the Wusa is actually much more vulnerable to a Shy, Johnny, than like how do you feel about the Shy composition against the no Shy here?
The Shy composition's always going to be strong. They've been spamming it. You know, it's got the attack speed, move speed, HP, res, BSR recovery, AP, heals, like, it's just got everything from like a support standpoint. The Bongo is going to be so oppressive against a Warrior. It's going to be really oppressive, I think, even against the Wusa and the Hash too. I think the Shy team definitely has I think this is very much either way. One has slight gear, one has comp. I honestly want to put my bets on the Ventus team the more and more I think about it.
I'm going to go with my boy Biceptimus. I think he pulls this out. I think Healing pulls this out. We'll see this, if he can clutch this up. Ventus has looked so strong all tournament long, even in the matches that they look like they're losing. I mean, it just shows you Healing really has to take out at least two people before they can start to breathe a little bit, right? Because they really have no room to breathe. They've 2v3 teams in the past. I mean, Healing got 2v3 last like in the round that they lost in the last match of this tournament. So we will see what happens here as the gates up and away we go. Cosini goes for the Meteor, and the Hash just goes straight in, Leroy Jenkins style. Sony playing back a little bit, biding his time, waiting for any sort of opportunity to try to jump in here. Finds Kaloris on the ground on that Draconia. Sony on his back now as well, but holds onto his V very expertly and just kind of runs out of the fight. That is what we in the business called a gear check. That was absolutely spectacular from Sony. Just rolling straight back up, knowing not to use his V and not to V too soon. That is just experience of a veteran player. Finding Cosini on the grab. He says, you can't Hellfire me. You're not allowed to do that. Oh my goodness, but the Shy says, yes, he absolutely is. And Sony says, okay, that's absolutely right. And runs away as he takes a really bad trade down to 20%, Plaything at 50%. 90% as the Shy turns the fight on its head. Sony thought he had it on the grab. The Shy turns it around with a quick heal and then debuff on Sony, takes too much damage. Kashira doing so much work, placing those bongos perfectly. Plaything and Sony have to back off here. The Hash still dancing around, looking for any sort of CC. You can see how slowly they're playing, waiting for their debuffs to wear off right here. Sony sees Cosini, wants to go in on it, waits for his moment to shine. Not able to find it. The desync comes through right there. Oh, Kairos dancing around right there on that Awakening Draconia, not allowing himself to be grabbed. Sony on his back, but in a really good spot because his back is to a wall. Holding on to his V. Oh my goodness. Does manage to V. I think that was the correct call. He's down at 5% HP. Does scramble his way back to 30 with potions here as he's in the corner putting his back to a wall. Beautiful job right there. No one has died quite yet. Cosini's on the ground. No V. Taking a lot of damage from Sony. The Shy's not quite close enough. Yes, it is. Sony's bongoing. Perfectly placed Shy bongos. Cosini on the positioning. Absolute monster. Oh my goodness. Ventus goes huge on the backside of that fight. That was actually just crazy positioning. Picture perfect for both Cosini and his Shy Kashira right there. Cosini on the ground right here, though, might actually die. No, the Shy saves his life again. They stand up and they finish the last member of the surviving healing team, and that Ventus team looks so good, Johnny.
That they do look good. The Cash absolutely clutching it by CCing Biceptimus in his forward guard movement with the bongo or the bubble, just not letting him go anywhere. It's another one of those instances. Instead of, you know, something like a Zerker or another oppressive grab class like a Striker, it's the Shy saying and staring at Sony, I got you for 3 minutes. You're going nowhere. And just absolutely putting him in the grave for that round, allowing them to get the win for the Ventus team. Cosini staying alive through the heals and everything else. And Kyra, which honestly, Draconia is just a better warrior at this point, still tearing up the battlefield.
There's no bias there. You're not a warrior. Definitely not.
No, not at all.
Cosino getting CC'd right away, but he's right next to his Shy right there. Honestly, they have not been able to cut the umbilical cord this entire time of that duo right there. Sony has to be immediately. Cosini's on the hunt for Sony's V. Not able to find it. He does get the V off. Cosini trading very well, trying to throw all the slows that he can down. Sony, they know Sony has the OV. Down at 10%. Sony trying to kite back and use his frontal guards. He does get away. Oh my goodness, skippering away like a little cockroach. He is Sony down at 50%. Gets kicked by the Shy and floated. Sony on the ground, 20% HP. Does get away, scurrying away like a cockroach again. And it manages, finally goes down. Finally goes down on the backside of it. Cosini and this Shy. Kashira might just go the distance. They just cannot be separated. They cannot be beaten. And this healing team looks like they might just bend the knee over to this Ventus squad, as Ventus looks like they are going to move on to the semifinals of this tournament. Absolutely insane. No gamble, no loss, doing what he can here, kiting around with 10% on his HP bar here. Wusa at 90%, kiting around going, I don't know what to do. They just keep killing us. I don't understand. No gamble, no loss, looking for any sort of CC. Finds Cosini on the stiffen, but not able to follow it up. Again, the Shy is right there. If you try to do anything to him at all, this Awakening caster Shy composition is so powerful. Playthings on the ground, gonna take a bullite in the face, but manages to get out of it. The Draconia jumping around, doing what Awakening Draconias do best, which is everything. Down at 10%, but that's okay because again, Shy's just heal them right back up. Awakening Draconias have so much sustain in their kit, they can just heal back up all on their own. No problem here. 58 seconds left on the clock. This is the position where a 2v3 might happen if you could make it work. A Wusa and a Hash, we've seen crazier things. No gamble, no loss, comes out of V on the edge of the arena, looking for Cosini. Comes to the middle. Kashira down at 40%. Oh my goodness, they're taking a lot of damage. Down goes the Wusa. Down goes healing. Oh my goodness, absolute tragedy there. Ventus gonna take 2 rounds off of healing. They look so strong. They have 1 round to go, Johnny.
Ventus is just absolutely performing. You got the little ankle biter Shy just latching onto Sony's leg around the battlefield. Sony just trying to scurry away and then just getting cold clocked by the Draconia while he's distracted by the Shy. Oh my God, it's relentless. We had Flatline earlier wanting to do the chin matchup against Sony, but apparently the Shy is taking the vengeance for Flatline and is going to chin up him himself. That's disgusting. That is a performance like a Shy I've never seen before. Crazy recruiting Shies.
Absolutely. I don't think he's gonna. I think he's just gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna make you strong. I'm gonna make Ventus stronger than Corrupt." That's his plan here. Cosini
I'm ready
going.
for it.
Yeah, Cosini going in right here. Getting in front of Kashira, who gets knocked over there. And again, they're just standing right next to each other, always playing together. Whereas the Draconia is the one trying to make plays, and Cosini seems to be the one that everyone always wants to target, but can never ever kill because of his gear. And then the Shy standing on top of him. Sony down at 40%, not very good right now. Trading very poorly, runs away. There he goes, scurrying away into the distance. Is Sony trying to get himself healed back up, and they let him go this time. As he's off on the side there, you can see him in the top left. Kairos down at 50% now. As his team healing starts to breathe some life here. Sony gets his health back and begins to re-engage here, looking for any sort of CC. Cosini can just do whatever he wants. Beautiful mouse to move right there. Not crazy necessary, but oh my goodness, was it awesome. Beautiful job right there. Moving around the side, Sony finds the grab onto Cosini, but there's the Shy right there to try and debuff everyone. Cosini taking a lot of damage, down at 50%, down at 40%, but no. Sony goes, he just doesn't die. He's like the Terminator. He stands right back up, and he will not be beaten. TP's right back out, goes right back in with Hellfire. This is an interesting choice. Down at 30, down at 20%. The Shy is stuck in bongos right now. Kaitora's on that Awakening. Draconia gets out of that bad position. No gamble, and lost CC'd on the high ground there with a stiffen from the Shy bongo, but not actually going to find anything. No one has actually died yet in this match, surprisingly enough. No gamble, no loss. Down at 20% though, as he takes a really bad trade into Cosini. Kairolis just went down right there. Ventus losing a member. Sony threading the needle and finding that cockroach, scurrying in and finding the CC he needs to on that warrior. Look, you see him waiting off in the wings. Cosini's on the ground. He sees his opportunity to strike, but the Shy bongos stop everything. Sony, oh my goodness, it's a race to the finish line health bar wise. Sony down at 20%, grabs Kashira. Cosini's forced to V. No gamble, no loss. Looking for the V. Sniff on Cosini. There's no shot to save him. Kashira tries to get there, but not in time. Oh my gosh, separate the Shy from the Awakening caster with the V, and then sniff the V. Beautifully played by that healing squad. Oh my goodness, they absolutely deserve this. Battling back in this round right here. Holy moly, healing, get on your feet. Your guild will not go down without a fight. Ventus is gonna lose this round. Oh my goodness, we're back up 2-1. Momentum goes to healing, Johnny.
Constantly back and forth, the bongo capturing everyone inside of it, not letting anyone to escape. People end up surviving it and getting it out. Man, I hope Sony has a smartwatch on. He's getting his steps in today, sprinting around the AOA here. It's always back and forth. The HP bars jumping up and down. It's a match. It's one of those just nail biters through and through the entire time, and that's exactly what I want to see. One of those kind of instances where I really, really hope healing takes the next round in a really good close fight, and then leaves it for the final, match, the final round. The entire cookie goes to one team, kind of a style match. I love those. That's exactly what I want to see.
And skates up and away we go. Healing as well as they played in that last round. Gonna have to play equally as well in this one to see any sort of round 5 here, any sort of victory in this match here. Sony buying his time again, playing this. Oh my goodness, amazing grab onto the Shy. They're gonna burst the Shy. It's a return fire, and Cosini doesn't have a bomb heal. Beautiful focusing right there. Forces the V on the Shy and gets out of there alive. And the fight resets a little bit, but I think they found their win condition here as this healing team breathing life in, gets the grab on the Shy again, and oh my goodness, Sony looks down at his Apple Watch. Congratulations, you've reached your breath goal for today. Absolutely beautiful on that grab there from Sony, lifting that Shy into the ground right there. Oh my goodness, getting the Draconia is actually the one that died. to be honest with you. He grabbed the Shy, and then the Draconia is the one that died. So they keep running the Shy down. This is the play. This is seriously working. But no gamble, no loss, just took it. Oh my gosh, they weren't ready for the engage. No gamble, no loss, just took a bad engage from Cosini. Cosini trades really good damage on the Awakening Wizard and just kills him. And it's a 2v2. Oh my goodness. Sony finds Cosini again, but the Shy is right there. Can he get it? He CCs the Shy too. He says, no problem. I'll take them both. Cosini down at 10%, but the Shy gets back to his feet and does get Cosini back to healthy again. Plaything looking at Cosini. They've got him separated. No, they don't. They closed in from both sides, and this duo is playing out of their minds. Cosini and Kashira are absolute specimens. CCing Sony once again on this, rolls back to his feet, gets the grab down on Cosini. Oh my goodness, the bongos come through, and Sony, yeah, he's going to get CC'd. Warrior does not have a fully protected combo for the most part that he can actually get off here. So we're down at 56 seconds on the clock. Health bars are locked at 50%. It is a 2v2. Winner take all on this match. Cosini gets CC'd. That is not good. Sony finding it, but beautiful. Bongos right. Catches both of the members of healing on the bongos. That again saves Cosini's life. Kashira absolutely out of his mind. Sony goes in on Cosini again, looking for the CC. There's a lot of grabs here. It's definitely not favoring him. 28 seconds on the clock. Oh my goodness, that's not good. Sony has to V. If it comes down to HP, you're talking about 2 healing classes. That's not a good thing. 4 healing here, 18 seconds on the clock. Sony needs to get back in here and land a grab. 13 seconds, 12, 11, 10. I'm not sure what Sony's doing. He's allowing his ally to kind of jump in on this. He needs to get some sort of damage done. 5 seconds on the clock.
Do a spear. He's got to do a spear.
No, he's on his back. That's not good. No. Ventus is going to turn it. Oh my gosh. Ventus takes it into the final moment of that match. What an insane ending. Ventus 3-1 on the backside of that. That was the closest match of the day, Johnny. What just happened? What just happened?
That's twice for that same healing team against one of the Ventus teams where they throw the 2v3. They had it in the bag.
I know.
It was safe. They were waiting. They had it. They could have done it. And they just said, nah, just threw it away. Oh my God. Sony playing when it was just the 2v2, playing super unprotected, super just using Merciless and Overwhelm and all these skills and constantly getting CC'd, and he was tanky enough to survive it. But he ended up having a lot of instances where he can't do anything to help his teammate or to get some damage off or do anything. Cosini was so tanky that he couldn't die to like a basic combo. Cash with the fantastic CCs, playing out of his freaking mind, saying, "You're not hurting my Cosini. This is my wizard, not yours. Get out of here." Just absolutely out of their minds. I think at the end too, the healing team should have just backed off. Cosini has Bola that it could maybe use for a range skill, but if you're going for that percent, they're both at 50. Throw in a quick spear real quick just to damage them just a little bit, and it might be enough to do it if the Shy's not perfectly healing. But that last like 10-15 seconds was just absolutely there's just so much of a nail biter and just rough to watch.
Yeah, let's watch the instant replay on it, because we have the instant replay of the final aspects of that match here. Let's watch it as it all went wrong for healing right here. Sony goes in to try and make something happen here, and right at the end gets knocked down. The Shy Bongos finish him, and then the HP starts to run out, and Ventus takes it in the final seconds. I mean, that came down to the wire on that one. Insane. I will say it's a huge shout out to both teams. I felt like we really saw the healing team adapt and overcome as the matches went on, right? Like, it felt like they had it. They had the composition. Like you said, they knocked one out. It was a 2v3, and then they got caught flat-footed. I am a DM, so I'm going to say they got caught flat-footed. Cosini came up behind him and just popped the hash. I don't know if he just put on a bunch of AP. I'm not sure exactly what happened. He got Shy buffed. They were not paying attention. He back attacked him, and the hash just disappeared. I will say that the highlight of that match was Cosini and Kashira just playing like there was an umbilical cord attaching the two of them. It was crazy. But so watching Sony and the healing team separate those two with the V and then run them down in that third match there. Oh my gosh. It was just so crazy.
I'm wondering too, when Biceptimus backed off at the end, right at the start of that replay, there's like 5 seconds or so where he's just kind of standing there. I think he did a gear swap. I think he switched out his cadres or something to try to pump out some last second damage and then got CC'd. It looked like out of his kick. There is a thing where if you get kicked while being hit by abilities like Bongo, that it just speeds it up and you do the second part of it, which is unprotected instantly, which might have been why he got CC'd. I'm not 100% sure, but that looked rough.
It was very rough. It was a little rocky, but honestly, I think they played super well. Oh, look at this. This is the wrong screen. Nobody wants to see this. Yeah, no. Okay, we're gonna look at the semifinals match. I just got exposed. I was all zoomed in on my witch, bro. I actually just got so exposed. Okay, focusing on the semifinal match of Ventus Team 1 versus SalveLucrum. Johnny, who do you think takes this with both these teams playing as well as they are?
I love the Ventus team. Cosini is an absolute monster. Kyra is playing out of his league. Cash is just making Shy look way too strong. It is. Please nerf that. And Salve though. Salve.
Do they have enough damage? Do they have enough damage? Is my question. Right? Like I don't know,
think
man.
they do.
Yeah, I don't think
Cosini's so tanky, but Pig is just gonna bully him on the striker. Meph is gonna be able to do his amount of damage and survive whatever comes up, and then of course they have Eddie with a Shy. It's rough, and this maybe Cairo Cosini have some accuracy switches, and God, I hope that digit starts with 1 and 1. Because otherwise, I don't think they're going to be able to do too much here. And maybe a really good timed Misty Haze, or when the HP hits 50%, because Draconia does hurt, but the HP might not be there. I don't know if Awakening is the same as Succession for Wizard, but I know it's a fairly blind class. It has really bad problems with accuracy. Going into a triple evasion setup might be a little bit rough for them.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Ventus is going to struggle for damage. I think if they have enough accuracy to make this work, then yes, they can manage SalveLucrum. But I'll be honest with you, I think the Salve team just hard counters them. I think they've got enough tankiness, and then they've got Pig literally just running around grabbing people. I'm not sure there's going to be much Cosini can do. And then although Kashira was playing out of his mind on the Shy, there's only so much you can do as HP ticks down to 50%. You know what I mean? I think it's just going to be grab after grab after grab, damage after damage after damage. So I think we will see. We're definitely pulling for that Ventus team. SalveLucrum definitely looked amazing today. So did all of our teams. That's the end of the open bracket for today. If you guys want to see how the other bracket went, it looks like Enrage. Who is on Enrage? Do you remember, Johnny?
I know Asminic is there. I don't know who the other two are. I think it might be Asminic, Akari Seo, and somebody else. I haven't actually seen the brackets. I'm just guessing for who I know is in that guild.
Isn't Akari also a Cho member?
No, Akari was Ingenium, I believe, before.
Ingenium. Okay. All right. Okay, well, that makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel a little bit better. Yeah, I know Asminic was a Vertex member way back in the day. And so that's really cool. Boys and girls, that is going to be a wrap for the open bracket for today. Of course, the semifinals and the finals, I'm going to be flying out to Los Angeles to cast it live at the Pearl Abyss Studios there alongside Sony. Again, not by Septimus Prime, the other Sony, and Etsu Moon, who will be on the desk with me as well. And that will be next weekend for the open bracket. Tomorrow, we have the Invitational Tournament, and Johnny and I will be back to cast the Invitational Tournament as well, because you guys need to remember there are two brackets here. There's the open tournament, and then there's the Invitational. The Invitational is all the big Siege guilds that we didn't see today, like Cho Nation. We didn't see any Cho Nation today, Johnny. No Cho Nation today.
No Cho Nation at all.
Digital, Corrupt, Notorious, Clash, all the biggest guilds are all fighting tomorrow in the Invitational Tournament. And of course, we will be casting it. We'll be back at the exact same time tomorrow, casting it through to the round of 8. Again, the finals will be cast live in Pearl Abyss Studios. I want to say a big shout out to my boy Johnny 5 here. If you guys are not following Johnny currently, please go and do so. Did an amazing job on the desk with me today. Thank you, Johnny. I really appreciate it. Johnny, could you shout out your content a little bit? Tell them what you do.
Yeah, on the Friday nights, I do the Node Word podcast every Friday at 11:15 EST. I help run the tier list for the Node Word guilds. I'm kind of like the front-facing person for that. That's on Sundays. I do VOD reviews and stuff like that for that. I talk about the differences in guilds, who they've acquired. There's a tier list for it. I try to host events. I've done a tournament before with Blue. I did the Crystal Madness tournament with him before. I do everything I can to get into PvP. In whatever way it is. I love PvP. Blue invited me to help shoutcast for this, and I was ecstatic because I love PvP. I love watching this stuff. I love casting for it. It's what I'm about. It's why they play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you guys need to join me in following him. Turn that purple button to a green button for me there. And of course, I'm Blue Squadron, guys. I release new YouTube videos on my YouTube channel every single day, and they are absolute bangers. So make sure you go check that out. This VOD will be up on my YouTube probably this evening, if not tomorrow morning. And then again, the invitational tournament will be up almost instantly as well. So if you guys want to watch the replays of this tournament and really clip out all the best plays that your guild had, or maybe the best plays that any other sort of guild had, make sure you do that and pass those clips around there. I want to give a big shout out to Perlibus for sponsoring the tournament, and to all of the content creators that streamed it today. Absolutely fantastic. I had an absolute blast. Johnny, I'm sure you did too, as you just said there. And we're going to be back tomorrow for more, man, right?
Heck yeah, we are, and I'm ready.
That's right. Okay, from us here on the caster desk, we will see you guys tomorrow for the Best in Guild Invitational Tournament.
And remember, there's no Cho Nation in my open.
None. There's none Cho Nations. None Cho Nation members, boys.